Check, check. Well, first, we'd like to welcome everybody to this evening's meeting. Everybody, I guess, is enjoying the pretty weather, as all of us. Hopefully, it stays that way so we don't get any more sleet and snow and ice. Just want to welcome everybody to the meeting. And first, I guess what I'd like to say before we open it up with prayer and the pledge is with Caleb is I thought about this today. We got a very special holiday coming up, Easter. And to me, that's the most special, the very special holiday that was birth, death, and resurrection of our Christ, Jesus Christ. So if you get an opportunity plenty of churches around, get your family together and take them out on Sunday and try to find a place to go and take your family. So I'll turn it over for the roll call first and then turn it over to Kate.
Thank you, Chairman. Welcome to the Russell County Board of Supervisors, March the 30th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Russell County Boardroom. I'd like to first start off with call of order and roll call. Andrew Hensley.
Here.
Luann Wallace.
Here.
Tara Dye.
Here.
Steve Breeden.
Here.
Rebecca Dye.
Here.
Nate Kaiser.
Here.
David Eaton.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Okay, first, if everybody would stand for the invocation and then the pledge.
Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we love you. We thank you. We praise you today, Father. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings that you've given us. And Lord, we thank you for allowing us to be a part of our local government, Father. And Father, most of all, we thank you for your son that you sent to die for us 2,000 some years ago. Be with us, lead us, guide us, and direct us in everything that we do. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need approval of the agenda. Any modifications to the agenda?
I'll make a motion we approve the agenda as presented then.
Chairman, I have two additions.
Two additions.
Under the presentations, I'd like to add in Tony Bush with the Communities in Schools program as number 4, and Missy Carter with the Community Work program as number 5.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to include Tony Bush number 4 and Missy Carter number 5 under presentations.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Andrew. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all. Now we have presentations. The first we have is a presentation for Dr. Charles R. King, road resolution. Me and Miss Wallace was able to attend up there at the college the other day. Dr. King, I think, had served for like 40 some years there at the college, actually, I guess from the beginning. And they named a road after him. It was a very humbling event. He cried. And, he wanted to see kids in our communities succeed through education. So tonight, I don't know if there's somebody here representing Dr. King's family. We will get it to him. But if County Administrator Lonzo, if you want to say what the resolution is.
I sure will, Chairman. Resolution is to rename the Community College Road as the Charles R. King Road. Of course, at the regular board meeting, which is tonight, the Russell County Board of Supervisors acknowledged that Dr. Charles R. King, a lifetime commitment and dedication to Southwest Virginia higher education, as the president of the Southwest Virginia Community College. Dr. King's impactful tenure as the president of Southwest Virginia Community College has left a lasting legacy on our region and its students. The board is deeply grateful for your service and your unwavering leadership in advancing the educational and leadership opportunities in our community. As we go through it, the certain public road named the Community College Road located adjacent to Steelbergs Highway and Cumberland Mountain Road in Tazewell, now called the Lawson Drive, and that said, being public road hereafter shall be known and recognized and named as the Dr. Charles R. King Road as approved by the Board of Supervisors this night. I need a motion for approval for the board for this resolution.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Nate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all so much. And we will get this to Dr. King. Next up, we have Chris Vance with the new chief of Copper Creek Fire Department.
I'll try to hurry. I know this takes about 8 minutes of your time, but good evening. I'm Chris Vance. I'm coming to you tonight on behalf of Station 40, the Copper Creek and Moccasin Volunteer Fire Department in Castlewood, Virginia. The station was founded in 1986 and protected the citizens, served the citizens of Russell County for over 40 years. Some of you may not know that the Copper Creek and Moccasin Volunteer Fire District has the only fire department substation in Russell County due to the extensive 78 square mile coverage area. Coverage areas include Route 19, the Route 19 traffic signals to the Washington County line, Route 58 to the top of Buzzard Roost, Route 613 Moccasin Valley Road to the Scott County line, and Route 71 south from Dickinsonville to the Scott County line, and all areas in between. So some of you all may know me, some may not, but I've spent my entire career in public safety. I started at the age of 18 with the Honaker Fire Department until I got accepted with the Virginia State Police Academy. I spent 23 years as a state trooper and served here in Russell County until I retired in June of 2024. After retirement, I was lost, and I found myself wanting to help people in the community that I love. So on February 16, 2026, the fire chief of the Copper Creek and Moccasin Volunteer Fire Department decided to retire. And after running the department since the first trucks rolled out of Station 40 years ago, and I was elected by the current firefighters as their new chief. And so becoming the new chief has given me a whole new breath of life, and it from being in a trooper car, going back to a fire engine, doing what I loved in my younger years. Served as a member of the board of directors for the Copper Creek and Moccasin Volunteer Fire Department since July 2025, and I never really walked through Station 40 to its entirety until the night I was elected as chief. As I walked through, I saw so much potential. I saw how much the potential the department had there, the building, and then my mind started thinking, with a lot of hard work, dedication, and commitment from myself and each one of my firefighters sitting behind me. At this point in time, I knew that Station 40 and Station 48, the substation, could be the best and volunteer fire agency here in Russell County. Over the past 6 weeks, both stations, we've turned it completely around. We started with 12 volunteer firefighters to a roster that now has 31. The buildings are completely clean. They look awesome with the help of the Russell County Community Work Program. They came down, pressure washed our buildings, and made it look awesome for us. All the pumps on the truck have been upgraded from PVC pipes to galvanized lines. All the trucks have been fixed, full of fuel, leaf blowers, chainsaws are all up and running for the burn season. New tires put on the trucks, and every firefighter has every piece of turnout gear they need to effectively fight fires. The decks at the station have been pressure washed for bingo members to enjoy, and the gutters cleaned out, and the bays have been completely organized. The trucks are organized and equipped with the necessary tools to respond in a moment's notice. And the list goes on and on. But most importantly, I'll tell each of you attending tonight that I have some of the best 31 volunteer firefighters in Southwest Virginia. We may be a new and young organization down at Station 40 right now, but I know that, and a lot of other departments have a lot more training than we do. But I wouldn't trade any one of them for anyone in this county. So, like I said, each one of them come sit behind me tonight. I think we have more women on the firefighters now than we've had in a long, long time. So we're proud of that. As I said earlier, my mind's always thinking, I'm always thinking about public safety. So what can I do as chief, and what can we do as a department to save lives? And what can we do more as a department to save more personal property? And what can I do as chief to make Station 40A, which is our substation, to be more just as effective as Station 40? So anyway, the first thing that stepped out in my mind is I said that we need another pumper truck. First and foremost, we needed something else to help fight fires with. Just remember the 78 square miles that I mentioned earlier. Well, this is why. So Station 40A, which is located at the bottom end of Moccasin, is 6 miles off of Route 58, and that's some of the craziest curve and one-lane bridges you'd ever see down in that area. So it's pretty much a 2-bay shell building that's equipped with a mini pumper that holds 250 gallons, and it's also got an international tanker that holds 2,000 gallons. So pretty much having that small of a truck with 250 gallons, well, could it fight a fire? Yes, it probably could. It's going to attack right off the bat, and it could probably knock some stuff out. But that 250 gallons goes really, really quick. After that 250 gallons, we're in trouble. So that brings me to my next point of view is the closest hydrant to Station 40 down on Moxon Valley Road. It's 9 miles away. Yes, it's correct. 9 miles away. So one of the things, you take us driving 14 miles from the Copper Creek station down to the substation, with these huge trucks, slow speeds, trying to shuttle water is a great distance. Time is very valuable and it's not on our side. So what better way to do it to help save human lives and property is to get another pumper truck. So on March the 11th, 2026, we added engine 49, which is sitting out front, to our fleet. It is a pumper and technical rescue truck. We purchased a 1994 Pierce Dash from North Centerville Fire Company in Hazlet, New Jersey. It was just right outside of New York City. So myself and a couple of my members, we got in the truck, we rode it together, and we picked it up and brought it back all in one day. Well, it took us overnight, but we was all ready to get this truck back. But it contained a lot of 5-inch fire hoses, nozzles, pipe holes, and just everything that we need was pretty much given to us by that North Centerville Fire Company. We couldn't thank them enough. So now we're moving to the front. At this point in time, some of the things one of the things that stands out most about Engine 49 sitting out front is it responded on September 11, 2001 to the attacks of the World Trade Center after the towers had fell. So Engine 49 was there at 9/11 right after the towers fell. Some of their guys and firefighters down there, they're having medical complications today from attending that. But like I said, it does have the emblem and stuff on the front of my truck showing that it was there. So I think it's pretty special. It's a little piece of sacrifice and freedom in our hearts down at Station 40 and at Substation 48. So, with everything, we've been doing everything we can within our power within the last 6 weeks. We've made some financial sacrifices to uphold our commitment to protect human life and property. So as of today, we've changed around quite a bit. So now we have Engine 49 sitting at our main station with a tanker truck and a couple of brush trucks. Down at my substation, I do have our old pumper truck that carried 1,500 gallons is now down to protect the citizens of the Moccasin area. So we now have a new pumper truck down there, as well as a 2,000 gallon tanker and a brush truck down there as well. So they used to have 2,250 gallons of water. Now they have almost just shy of 5,000 gallons of water down there right now. So one of the things that myself and some of my firefighters have done is we got together with the Virginia Department of Forestry, and we've already checked our dry hydrants, which runs into the creek, so we can pull water and draft water from the creek up to our trucks. We've already got that set up. That we have a new one going to be installed just right down there, probably about 2 miles from our substation. So it's supposed to be done probably within the next month. So that is really, really huge that we can have some water supply to suck water out, draft it out, and have it in case of any kind of medical emergency down there. So, like I said, we've struggled financially. We had the funds to repair all the trucks, try to fix the building up. We purchased Engine 49 with what we had left, but you know what? It never stopped us from our mission, is protecting human life and property, as I've said before. The Copper Creek Moccasin Volunteer Fire Department, we respectfully ask each member of the Board of Supervisors to assist us in helping with purchasing Engine 49. It's a huge asset to our department. You know what? Can save so many lives. It's just something that would help us out to try to take a little bit of financial strain and a little bit of worry off of me as chief, because I want to make sure that my guys and gals have the best equipment necessary to make sure they're safe and they go home to their families as well. So to my volunteers sitting in the back who give their time and energy and heart without any hesitation, you're the backbone to my department. And like I said, this new equipment will be a testament to our dedication and a tool to help continue their incredible work down there. So on behalf of the men and the women of the Copper Creek Moccasin Fire Department, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to the county for your continued support and commitment to our community. Tonight, we stand here not just as firefighters, but we stand here as neighbors and friends. And proud members of the community. Every call that we respond to, every life we touch, and every emergency that we face is possible because the trust and the backing that we receive from all of you. In addition, Engine 49 is just more than an upgrade, it's a lifeline. It allows us to respond faster, operate safer, and serve more efficiently. Whether it's a house fire, medical emergency, or a call for help in the middle of the night, these resources, they make a real difference. Your support strengthens not only our department, but the safety and resilience of our entire community. We're proud to serve Copper Creek and Moxon, and we are honored to stand alongside the county that prioritizes public safety in the community we serve. So we want you all to stay safe, and we want to always continue working together. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Vance,
Yeah.
would you come back up here a minute? May I? I appreciate you very, very, very much. I'm sure this entire board does. My question is, what kind of distance do you have from the Nicholsville Fire Department, and have you all looked at that? And I know you probably have mutual aid with those
Right.
folks
We
too.
spoke at that chief's meeting several times. I think that's what we're going to do is I need to get over to Nicholsville. I know they are very, very close. So we have talked about that during the chiefs meetings that we need to try to get some outside agencies. Just like Honeacre, they'll be working with Richlands, especially down the Swords Creek area. They'll be working with council and stuff. You have something up on the Big A side, as well as us. We got Nicholsville. They're right across the county line. So that is my part. I'm just trying to get all my pieces together and try to make sure that I have enough truck and water tonight. If there's some kind of fire down there, that I'm going to be ready at a moment's notice, and I'm not going to have to worry about trying to shuttle water. I know that I've got the men and the equipment to put out that fire immediately. So probably that's the agenda this week, is to get over to Nicholsville and also into other across the county lines for the mutual aid.
I didn't mean to get out ahead of you,
Yeah.
but Little Duck Road and all that, they've got water to that
That is
point.
correct.
So
Yes.
I don't know. We don't have a connection. We don't have a PSA going that far,
Right.
but that could be a point of entry
That
there.
is-
Not to tell you how to do your job.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
But thank you.
That is correct. Like I said, one of my members that's on my fire department is with the PSA, so I mean he can guide me in that right direction.
I bet he's already telling you that.
And he's on point. He's really helped me out tremendously.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How much are you requesting?
Yes, ma'am. I think I might have skipped that page. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is me. You know what I'm saying?
No worries.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry.
I thought I might have zoned out and just missed it. I
No,
didn't know.
I'm a blabbermouth. So, like I said, the total cost of Engine 49 was $10,237.50. We got it for $9,100, but we had to end up paying a buyer's fee as well. So that buyer's fee made a total $10,237.50, and then the fuel from Castlewood to Hazlet, New Jersey, and back was a total of $909.56. So, if my Honeacre calculations are correct, it was $11,147.06, ma'am.
And the good thing about this, see, some of the casino funding, the only thing you could use it for is education, public safety. And, I think that this would be a great opportunity. I know that's Andrew and Lou and him. And what I am so impressed with is the cooperation between all fire chiefs.
Yes.
You've had a lot of St. Paul and Lebanon and Cleveland, and there's been a lot of them want to work with you and help you and get this department built up, because it's a very large stretch of area down there that you have to cover. I mean, if you had a fire on one side and another fire on the other, you need the equipment to be able to utilize the opportunity. And I will tell everybody here tonight, from the emergency management director's position, it's been so enlightening to see the cooperation, not just locally, but regionally. With the training and stuff going on. I know sometimes the general public don't know what's going on, but from Swiftwater Rescue to ever since we got Helene and some of these storms, there's been a lot of activity and participation, and now you're seeing a lot of people want to volunteer, and that's what we wanted to see. And I know they've got a really good group down there, and I think they're going to do a great work, working with other departments like Miss Wallace said. And, we have these agreements across the county lines, but when Helene hit and Dane got wiped off, we had, how many counties was down there, county administrator? How many counties showed up to see?
Oh, at the date, we had over federal, state, and local, I think it was what, 36 different departments?
36 different departments.
Yes.
So yeah, and I'm just so grateful, and I know they're going to speak a little bit later on our communications network, but thank you for what you're doing.
Yes, sir. And also, I failed to mention as well, like Engine 49 is a dual purpose truck. So we do have it set up right now for any kind of the technical rescue. You know what? We want to let everyone know that the Copper Creek Fire Department, we're here 24/7. You know what? If you need us, all you need to do is give us a call and we'll be there. We do have all of our extrication equipment, search, rescue stuff is all equipped on that truck as well. So it's a dual purpose pumper as well as.
It's
as
only
search
got
and
like
rescue.
25,000 miles.
Yeah,
or
it does now. Yeah, it took us almost 1,000 miles to get there and back, but get down here. But like I said, it did have a little over 24,000 miles on it. It's a 1994 model. So like I said, that truck right there would do us complete justice in this county, and it's exactly what we needed for our members down in the Castlewood Moccasin area. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take this one at a time. Do we have a motion to approve this for Chris and the Copper Creek Fire Department?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Thank you.
Mr. Lesser, is that's something that we can work into the casino funds for the next fiscal year? Or,
It is, sir.
so I don't know what Steve's motion was exactly, but is it something that's needed today, or is it something that's needed in next fiscal year?
I'll let Chris answer that one for you.
Yes. Like I said, if it could be in this fiscal year, like I said, whenever I took over the department back in February, like I said, we were very limited on resources. We're limited on funds as well. So when it comes to the funds, I think just in our general account now, I have $600. Is exactly what I have right now in my main account. Like I said, our bingo is really went to the front, but like I said, bingo is all regulated by the state, so you really got to watch all that and where it needs to go. So we could use that at some point in time, but I mean, it's took a ton to try to get bingo up and going. We went from 19 to like 52 or 53 people, we're still trying to post it on Facebook and trying to get more people there. But I'll just tell you right straight up, we have 3 accounts. The first account is going to be our main account. It's got about $600 in it. Our bingo account has around 9,000 as of right now. I mean, it went from nothing to 9,000, and then in our other one we got 270 because we had to buy checks and stuff whenever we switched over the transition and stuff. So that's the money I got. I got $600. Like I said, whenever you fill up one of them trucks right there, you're looking at a ton of money at $5 a gallon for diesel. So like I said, if I can get it as soon as we can, would tremendously help my department, my agency.
So would you need this in addition to your funding for next fiscal year, or could this be given in this fiscal year and then knocked off next fiscal year?
Well, to be honest with you, I need the money now. To be honest with you.
Well, I know we all need all kinds of money, but we're kind of walking a line to try to get everything done.
Yeah, right. But if I have to sacrifice something this year, and to not get it next year, at least I know I'm good to go that way. Yeah. If that answers your question.
We have done this before with our little leagues.
Yeah.
And so we're used to kind of doing this. This is not anything new. It's to
I mean, we want to try to help you, but we got to figure out how to do it and take care of the
borrow
county
against their
as a
funds.
whole.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Okay. The casino monies can be used for the public safety. We'll go ahead, the board will go ahead and prove the $11,000 plus dollars against your FY27 funds. If something goes wrong,
Yes, sir.
come back before the board.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How's that? Is that fair? No, we definitely do not want to put our citizens in that service area
100%.
at a jeopardy because and again, he's a state police, so I've been working with him and he'll tell you where every dollar's at. So if he says he needs it, he needs it. So
Okay, I'll call. Yes.
all the money. I write a grant for the fire departments every year, and I'm not for sure if he's definitely got the money this year or how much is left. So that you might have some money still available for that. So call me tomorrow,
Yes, ma'am.
and I can tell you what you've got left, if he's got that or not. But remember that every year we write a grant too that you get so much money.
Yes, sir. Like I said, whenever Sonny retired, after 50 years of service, I mean that's a long time down there. He run the station the best he could. And then whenever I got handed over to, I'm still learning. I'm only 6 weeks into it, and just trying to take care of making sure that I had everything ready to go for the road. My members are safe, and that we can effectively fight fires. So, like I said, thank you so much for letting me know that. I mean, it's one of the things that I'll take care of this week as well.
Yeah, and all due respect to, I mean, public safety's, in all due respect, Ms. Wallace, little leagues are a little different than public safety. I don't want to cut you short.
Right.
Me personally, being the emergency management director, I don't want to put a burden on you to think that this is just something that's got to have. You got to have it to protect those citizens, and then thinking in your mind, well, I'm going to be cut a little bit short on my budget the next time. I really don't want to do that, but that's just me. I'm one guy. I'm one board member,
Right.
but I'd like to be able to make sure that all of our fire departments and that money set aside from the casino funds was for education and public safety. And the thing about it is, we've been able to put a dent in, and I ask all the fire chiefs, give me your needs assessment. Don't ask for more than what we can do, but look at the territory and let's see what we need to immediately fix some of the issues. And God forbid that we have a fire down there and you didn't have the type of equipment that you need to be able to do it. And that's what we talked about. Me and you had a long discussion, and I just think we need to do it and leave it in there for the next round, and then we'll look at it during the budget session to see what we can and cannot do. But that don't affect the monies that we get. That's just the casino funds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think, Mr. Lester, if you and the treasurer work together, make sure Chris gets what he needs.
We'll look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the motion?
Motion is to give Chris whatever money he needs. So $11,000.
I like that.
Wait just a minute now. We're all going to come with our handout for our fire departments. Remember, we got to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
Now, this is nothing on
Well,
you. We're going to argue up
Yes,
here,
ma'am.
okay?
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
I think this is kind of a special circumstance.
Well, we don't disagree with that, but I think there's a way forward to be fair and equal to all.
I agree with Miss Wallace.
And we're having those conversations in the fire department meetings.
That is correct.
All
Yeah.
the fire chiefs knew that you needed this.
Yeah, they're working
In our-
together.
And they're working together. I mean, it's not, we're having these discussions
Right.
about the equipment needs.
Mhm, right. And I think my other chiefs and stuff as well know good and well that just what the equipment that I had on the other end at the substation was not efficient to fight a fire.
No.
And like I said, you just brought up the valid point. The reason that I'm standing here tonight, that is, if something does happen, heaven forbid, that I know good and well that I got a pumper down there that's going to pump away to try to save a life. I want
That's
to try to save personal property.
I agree.
Yeah.
But with a mini pumper, let me tell you right now, it'll suck 250 gallons out in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what? And then you're standing there with a hose and no water.
And we
So
are
the
working
first
with the
public
other fire
safety is where
departments.
I'm at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about. And it's a horrible feeling. It's embarrassing. But like I said, that's the reason that I decided to step in and step up and say, hey, I know a truck costs a lot, but this one right here, I mean, it's we got our bang for a buck on that one. But I will tell you, what? I'm all about public safety 100% to the day I die. And the only thing that I was asking is just to make sure that I am being fair to the people in Moccasin, that that they're not left out in any way whatsoever. That when they need us, that they know they can count on me.
Yeah.
But with a mini pumper down there, they ain't no way. I mean, you might be able to put a trash dumpster out if you're lucky. But like I said,
And I've already heard Moccasin appreciates what you're
Yes,
doing.
sir.
I've heard from a lot of
Yes.
people that they're glad to see what you're doing.
And see when
And they do feel left out
They do.
within the county. And to see what you've done down there around that building, it means a lot to those people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, I do respect all my other fire chiefs and my other fire agencies. I know I see some of them sitting in here tonight, but like I said, I know I'm no different than anybody else, but they know the need that I have down there, and that's the reason I stand before you tonight.
And one that,
Thank you for stepping up and doing what you're doing. I know it's tough.
It is.
So we got a motion.
one of the other issues
Okay.
that Chris did not mention with in working with him, we've been together 2 months now and going at it hard and fast. One, to get it down and get the organization structured, the Copper Creek and the Moccasin, the people appreciate it. Their ISO rating is getting ready to roll. So this will help on insurance. So he's been running at 110 miles an hour. I don't think he's been home. I don't know, Liz, can you answer that question, for the last 2 months? So
If I get divorced, I'll be back.
so we do appreciate it, Mr. Vance. We do.
I say we got a motion. We got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, now we've got Mr. Bright Skeens, Russell County Sheriff's Department E911 Communication Service.
The sheriff's stepping in for Mr. Bryant.
Oh, okay.
And we got the big man up
We got the
tonight.
big guy.
I got threw under the bus. I get to talk about something that I really don't know a whole lot about. I'm gonna wing it. Bryant usually does all the radio. Him, William, and as you know, we've had a problem with our radio system for years, and part of the problem is our elevation and where our towers are with the repeaters. So if you look at this page here, you can see the green and the green is places in the county which is mountainous that you have good coverage. The white is the places that you don't. What causes these problems is mountains, trees, things of that nature that block the signal. So we were looking to go on to the STAR system of the state police, but that's going to cost $6 million. Don't know why it costs that much, but that's what it's proposed for us to pay. So we believe that we found a solution, and our good friends, the Virginia State Police, has agreed to let us put a repeater, an antenna, on one of their towers at Brumley, which is going to bring that elevation up. It's 4,240 feet above sea level from the tip. So where we put this tower, on some of these pages on the packets I gave you, the line of sight will give you direct to each one up. So when we talk about that, we're talking about 3. So we're going to triangulate. The town of Honaker had a repeater system that wasn't being used since we took over town of Honaker, and we've been working with Miss Eaton, the mayor, to let us use that, which would benefit the county. So get that up and running. So what we have is a proposal for 2 different companies to do this work. One of the quotes we have is Land Air. It's $18,133. They say they can do it, but that's not Motorola equipment. Motorola Solutions has submitted a bid for $22,964.80. That is Motorola equipment. I know that when you start mix matching radio equipment, I've never seen it work. I've never seen it work. People will tell you it'll work. My opinion, over 37 years in this business, it doesn't work. So, and then if you get something that doesn't work, then you got to go back and fix it. You're talking about more money. Personally, I like the Motorola equipment. That's what we're using now, and it's compatible. I would look at it like trying to put a cam out of a Ford engine into a Chevrolet. It don't fit. So my request would be for Motorola, because I know it would be compatible. The Virginia State Police has stepped up and said that we could use their tower. They had one request. They said that every time they went up there, which is kind of mountainous to get to, and trying to get a vehicle up, which we've been doing it for years, they just said the availability of your side by side when we need it to get there. I said anytime. We have a great working relationship with the state police, and we're going to continue that. So, questions?
Well, I know we talked about redundancy
Mhm.
with some of the communication sectors. All these repeaters will be linked together. The one at the college, the
That
one,
would be one upcoming.
yeah,
They will put one there, which
yeah,
will help the Belfast area.
yeah.
So as we go, that's what we're talking about, that repeater going to that location, which would get that whole stretch down through Belfast where Miss Dye's having a problem with the fire departments down there, and we have the problems there. And that seems to be where all the flooding's been hitting for several years, where we don't have communications. So that equipment would be attached to that and really boost it. So I have a paper here which will show the college. So this is the sheet you'd be looking for which will show the community college here at Belfast, over Dillinger Hall, Big A Fire, and then Hazel Mountain and Brumley Gap, and then you have one at Copper Ridge. So these three triangulation right here will get above that mountain range, which would carry it. And then this strip that runs down 19, when you hook this one up on Dillinger Hall, will give us everything we need.
Question, Mr. Chair. So I understand that you're going to be able to have a line of sight and you're going to triangulate. I kind of
Yes.
get all that.
Mhm.
And so is District 2 in our area? Are we in your triangulation?
Yes, it is. So when you look at that,
I don't have that thing that everybody else has got. Where is it?
here you can have.
Well, you're going to, I got Tara's. I'll use it.
All right, so
Thank you.
there's a sheet in here
Yeah.
that will show into Daint this line here, which covers this right here.
Gotcha.
There's nothing obstructing that all the way to that.
Okay. Yes. So that takes in Carterton. That takes in Carbo. Okay, which is Tara's district or Miss Dye's district. Okay, so the next thing is, I know that we all know we've got communication problems. So one unit can talk to the other unit. So are we talking fire, rescue, sheriff's office? Is that part of the deal too?
Well, right now, if we could get on the tower, and that comes back to two-way radio and programming that in to work off of that, and which I was hoping Bryant would be here to really answer some of those questions, him and Bo. Let me find that page. See, we're already licensed for that frequency and everything we have. We're already licensed. We don't have to reapply or anything. That frequencies and everything is still licensed. And to my knowledge, that tower being up would take on everything, which would open that up. I know the community college thing that me and Ms. Dye spoke about, putting that tower there, which would completely cover the fire, EMS, and the sheriff's office.
So we're waiting on the license there for that
Yes.
one.
Yeah. That's the only one that we have to wait for on the license, and they are pushing hard to get that, which would
But you're pretty confident that it would help, like with Cleveland Fire and
absolutely,
rescue and all
absolutely.
that. Okay.
See, the problem we have is just like where Belfast is, where towers are. Well, like House and Barn Mountain sets up, and then where this tower is, and then all of a sudden you drop down in this valley. And we talked about a tower that was already located behind it, which is not above that. So the towers have to meet. They have to have a line of sight. One could be here, one could be here. And as long as that beam can hit to here, it's clean. But if a mountain comes up or treetops comes in and hits right here, it stops it. It blocks it.
So
it
is
has
that,
to be.
and I'm stepping on you and I apologize, Sheriff. So does that mean we're going to need repeaters through what I call the hollers?
We have the repeater that we're looking at, and to my knowledge, we're not going to have to buy a repeater. We're going to use the one from Town Homeacre. We already have things. We had one that was damaged, which is Terry went up and fixed the building, and we've got that up and running. So I feel like our repeaters are fine. We just utilize the one that's not being used right now. It's not, not plugged up right now. We can take it and use it.
So if you discover when you get to this point that these are going to work,
Yes.
and then we have some dead spots along the way is what I call them. I don't know what you all call them. They're dead to me. But so we find these spots that don't work. Will we be able to add to this system, or are we bought in? Can we add to it?
If we do find something like that, then you could put a tower up which could piggyback off of it. It could get like the community colleges here, and you had a tower behind Belfast Fire Department that was down. Well, if it's not shooting that line of sight, all you'd have to do is put an antenna to it for it to talk to it, and then it bounces it on beyond it. But according to what we're looking at by the topography of Russell County, this would cover it.
Good.
This is the fix.
Okay.
6 million versus
22.
22 or 18, whichever one you decide.
And what else y'all got to remember too? So if you're sitting triangulating between Brumley, Hazel, and Big A, in between those shooting off of Brumley, you also got to remember now, based off line of sight, there's programs, as you see in these analysis, that they can tell you before you even hang the tower whether it's going to work or not. The satellites work, they'll tell you. But where I'm going with this is, we're using a combination of multiple communication systems. Remember, y'all built in Starlink, so the fire and the rescue has got these systems in there too. So this is in addition. These are layers of communication programs. So you're going to have these, the Big A, which Hazel just got a new repeater on it. It was damaged or stolen, but we've since replaced it. You're going to have one at the Belfast. The Big A is on the state police. The Bromley Gap is going on the state police. Our next work, as Chris would tell you, will be into the front side of Castlewood. So we watch these ridge lines, whether it's Iron Mountain or down into the Castlewood, we can shoot forward and backwards, but we can get direct in your area. Actually, we can get faster into Dank than we can get into Moccasin. So, but here's the thing about it. Brumley will take care of that front side, but we're going to put an additional in. Chris is already looking for a location for the fire department for the lower and the upper on Moccasin. He's got, we're going to be filling that gap next. And that will get your low side down into the Moccasin and Castlewood area, that in addition to the Starlink, to be able to triangulate all of these multiple systems.
And the answer to your question is
yes
to the EMS and fire. Supports multi-agency response, fire, EMS, emergency management.
So are they going to have to all get new radios, or
No,
are we
they
all
program.
compatible? Because at one time we all got all these radios.
Channels.
So
Different
so we're good on that.
Our problem has been the towers.
Brooklyn
All right.
It's just the block. It's kind of like the cell phone service here. They turn the towers down. I live right over the hill from Burger King, and drop calls at my house. It's just directional, and these towers will hit each other, and you're above that. There's one hillside at my house that blocks out the signal from where the tower is. The same thing.
The good thing about it too, Sheriff Andes in Washington County let Bill and his department test through their system the area, the range of the area of the repeater on the VHF side. So that was also, I mean, it's not like we're just looking at maps. They did some testing also to see how that would triangulate down into your all's district, and it worked really effectively.
And Josh Eaton was very instrumental in showing us what the problem was, because he has the equipment and the computer that he could show what was blocking, why it was not working. And then when we had the study done, he's absolutely right. That's the problem. So here's the fix. So when the state police, I mean, we don't even want to be able to tower and put our own stuff upon it or put 10 more everywhere and spend money. So the state police said, you can piggyback off our tower. You are great to work with us, and we want to work with you. It's not a question whatsoever. Put your equipment on our tower. It's fine.
As far as the Talahamaker, Jody's been working with Bill with that repeater that they've had up there before she initiated the partnership with the sheriff's office. I don't know, they probably had $25,000 in that equipment. So that'll offset probably the what he's asking for.
Yeah.
In the trade out, give up for that.
So, not to put you on the spot, but your choice is Motorola.
Compatibility.
The compatibility.
And that's it. That gets us to where we want to go, we think, right?
We've been down the road of Kenwood versus Motorola, and people mix matching equipment, and then once they get something that's not Motorola, it says it won't work. And you talk to any company, and it's just my opinion, solely my opinion, but based on working here so long and dealing with it, Motorola to Motorola they work together. Plus, if something goes wrong, Motorola fixes it. You buy something, and listen, the Kenwood War versus Motorola in the day, and different departments have Kenwood and other ones have Motorola. You couldn't talk to each other. You couldn't talk. It wouldn't
work. One of the other things you got to remember is the Motorola is a state contract. It's under state police, so it is not a low bid question as far as the Procurement Act goes. They are a state contract bidder. So
you don't have to go out.
No, he gave this as a comparison analysis to show y'all what, if you wanted to go, don't go cheap. This is the MCA is a state bid. This is a state contract. It's already, he could have chosen, but to show compatibility with the state police towers, what radios that you bought during COVID, remember all the ones you bought, those are all Motorola's, by the way. So this is part of the system.
Mr. Lester, looking through some of these bank accounts here, I was remembering Hurricane Helene, and it's listed on here as United Way Helene. And then there's another one that's the Wellspring. I think that's what we paid for the generators out of. Can either one of those accounts be used for something like this since it's public safety?
United Way, no, it's restricted to Pacific projects, and they handle that. We're just a partner in it. The ones for the Wellspring, we had to end up incurring additional costs because we had to end up putting the natural gas tanks in. So because they couldn't afford to do a full tank, a tank and a field to get all the generators up at the fire departments and at the community center. Community centers didn't have that kind of money. So where I'm going with this, the money and the fundings that came from Wellsprings, it ate up what we needed to do all the facilities. So.
I make a motion to give the Motorola equipment.
Thank you, Andrew. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second from Tara. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Bill. Okay, Mr. Tony Bush, welcome.
guess you guys were happy to see me, not not being here for education, but it certainly is a privilege to be here tonight in a different role. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that role that I've assumed with communities and schools. Currently, I'm serving as the program director for Russell County. We're currently serving all 9 schools in Russell County. We have a support coordinator in each one of our high schools, serving over 3,000 students and 450 of our most needy students. In January, I was looking at our mid-year report, and if you'll take a look at the pamphlets that I gave you, there's some information there that you can look at that's very useful. In Russell County alone, we gave out over 5,000 basic needs as of January for our students. That includes clothing, food items, hygiene products. There were several students that didn't have beds to sleep in their homes. We got up with organizations, went and got beds for those students and took them to their homes and gave them the beds to sleep in because they were sleeping on the couch or sleeping on the floor. Being a principal at a school for 20-some years, I never did really realize exactly just what the depth of these students were and what their needs were until I took this job. I've been all over Russell County. I've been in every school. I go in every school at least twice a week. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, these students and their families, they have some real needs. I can't tell you how many parents' power bills that we've paid for, how many parents' electric bills, that's water bills. We bought gas for families to take their kids to the doctor. We work with all organizations in Russell County, the Sheriff's Department, the Ministerial Association, Department of Social Services. What we are, we're like the cog in a big wheel. What we do in the school system is we're there to support the students and the families who need that support. We're there to help the teachers and the administrators, the guidance counselors. There's a whole lot that these teachers cannot do on a daily basis, and that's what we're there for. We can provide them with the assistance that they need daily. You guys have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Before a person can learn and go to school to learn, they got to have some basic needs that are taken care of. That's food, shelter, water, clothing, those kind of items. And that's what we're doing in the county. Like I said, I'm so excited to be privileged enough to have been able to get this position and be able to help all of the students and families in Russell County. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more about CIS, and then I'll let Mr. Baker give you just a brief introduction. I don't want to take too long. But these family engagement events that we have, it's hard to get a family whose parents are on drugs to be able to get any kind of engagement with those parents in the school system. It's almost impossible. Those kids have nobody. And as you well know, those kids lots of times stay with their elderly grandparents, uncle, or an aunt, or somebody that's, not their biological mom or dad. A lot of these students' parents are in jail or in prison, and they really don't have anybody. And that's the reason that we're in these schools in Russell County, is to try to help those students and help those families get the supports that they need in order to be successful and put everybody else on an even playing field. We got prom coming up. We got all kinds of dresses that we went out and local businesses have donated money. And we've got free prom dresses for these kids. We give these kids money to go get meals on at the prom. Cap and gowns. Cap and gowns are not cheap. They're expensive. So these students who cannot afford their cap and gowns, we work with the school administration to provide a cap and gown for them. Just those basic needs on an everyday basis is exactly what we're doing. But one of the biggest things that we're doing in the county is providing substance abuse awareness programs. And we worked with the Russell County Sheriff's Department. We worked with the Appalachian Coalition for Prevention and Treatment. the Substance Abuse Coalition. We've worked with the Russell County Coalition. We've had a lot of events already this year that a lot of you guys attended, and I saw you there, like at our community pep rally. We had about 500 or 600 people there, and we had the sheriff's department there giving out substance abuse awareness information to those families and to those students. And where the rubber meets the road for us, though, is in the school system. And what I mean by that is our support coordinators are able to have one-on-one conversations with students face to face every day in an area that's a safe area for them, where those students can unload, get things off their chest, and tell those support coordinators what's going on at home. And they don't always do that to a teacher. They won't do that to an administrator, but they will with those support coordinators. They will tell those support coordinators everything that's going on. So we work with those students to get them the supports that they need, the social emotional supports, the wellness supports, the basic needs that they need in order to help them thrive and do well in school and hopefully graduate. And we not only just help them graduate, we also work with the local community college to get them into college. And we work with the community college as well to try to provide scholarships for them, just like with the race program and those other programs that you guys have helped us out with. But we're here tonight to specifically ask you guys, if you would please, and I beg you to do this, is to help us with our OAA money that we need in order to implement some of these substance abuse programs. And in the past, we only had 3 schools in Russell County. Now we have 9. And you guys were gracious enough to allow us to have $2,000 for each school of the OAA money in order to use for our substance abuse programming in Russell County. And because we have expanded our service area in Russell County to all 9 schools, I am respectfully asking that you guys please consider giving us $2,000 for each school to continue to do the things that we are doing in the county, which I see that are very, very beneficial. And if you will look at the information that I gave you, there's a plan in there called the Brighter Paths Program, and it explains exactly how this works. We have whole school programming for all the students in the county at each school. We also have Tier 2 and Tier 3 programming, which is small group and individual programming for those students. And we have what I think is the most important, is the family engagement. Like I said, it's hard to get these families engaged, getting them come to school, be a part of what's going on at the school. Our goal is to get the kids to school safely. They're fed, make sure they're clothed like they should be, make sure that they're living in a safe place at home, that they have shelter over their head. And, we are providing academic support, after school tutoring, just anything that these kids need. But it's not only the kids, we're providing supports for the families as well. Like I said, help with power bills. And like I said, we're just the middle of the cog in a big wheel that's pulling all the sports together for our families, our community, for Russell County. And it is making a difference in Russell County. Dr. Hooker's just sent out a survey to all of our teachers in the county, asking them for their opinions on some of the things. And most of those teachers, a lot of those teachers said that communities in schools was a big asset to the school. And I see it every day that I'm there. I'm in every school every week. And like I said, at least 2 times a week, I'm at every school. So I'm asking you for your support to continue to support our substance abuse awareness programming through funding the OAA programming. And Rocky, I don't know if I left you anything to say or not, but if you would like to, Rocky Baker.
No, you did a great job. I do want to say this. I've known Tony for over 20 years. Our backgrounds are very similar. Tony, of course, retired from this county as a high school principal. I grew up in Pound. I just retired 4 years ago as principal in Smith County. I spent almost 20 years in administration as well. I really can't add a lot. I don't want to waste your time. I don't need to say really anything else, but I've got to say this. My first role when these folks contacted me to ask me if I would consider coming to work with communities and schools, we had one school in Smith County that had a coordinator in that school. And my first role was to expand the program. We're housed in Bristol. We've been in existence for 12 years. I can't specifically say how many schools that we were in at that time, but what they asked me to do was to meet with superintendents. And one of the first superintendents I met with is that fine lady back there. I worked through Tony. I knew Tony. I called him and I said, "Hey, I need to meet your superintendent." We met in Tony's office, and this county has been most gracious in allowing us to serve your kids. The one thing that I do want to add to what Tony said is he has sought coordinators. I used to have his job in Smith County. What I do now is I speak to anybody that'll listen to me. I'm in development, and I know that Mr. Lester's, you guys have received a letter from Mr. Davis from us that's requesting this money. But the one thing that we do, the impact that we have is not only do you all have 9 soccer coordinators in each school, but they're required to case manage 50 children in each of those schools. So that's, I'm not good at math, not good at all, but if my math is somewhat accurate, that's almost 500 children. And in some of these schools, they're case management coordinators. And what Tony said is so true. Gosh, we have so much poverty. And we have, I don't care, again, I grew up in Wise County, grew up in Pound. And I don't care if we were working in Russell County or Smith County or Washington County or Wise County or wherever it may be. Our small rural communities are all battling the same problems, and substance abuse is unfortunately a big root and a big evil to where that our kids fall short. And you said it best, I'll stop there. So I'm here, I work directly with Brett. We are so grateful for what we have. This program that Tony mentioned, the Bright Path, it's effective, it's going to work, it's going to help kids, it's going to engage families, it's going to bring families more involved with their kids, but we need additional funding to make that happen in all 9 of your schools. So we're asking again respectfully for $12,000. The last thing that I want to add to that letter is that through the opioid abatement, we're currently leveraging almost $47,000. So if we can increase that to 18, we'll be able to go back, we're going to be able to start having conversation. That 46.5, hopefully for Russell County over the next 5 years for this program is going to be the equivalent of $140,000. And that's so big. That's so again, I'm not Tony Bush, but I tell you, times that I do get to come to Russell County and hang out with Tony, we go into Walmart's. He is one of the most well-known people that I've
That'd be a good thing.
But I have to say this: your county has been instrumental in what you're allowing us to do. Dr. Booker, her staff, her teachers, Tony, his guidance and leadership has been wonderful. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate you, Tony, and you, sir, for coming the minimum amount of what you're asking for compared to the impact. There's no comparison.
Yeah, well,
I mean, because I know, I went and toured the facilities. Some of the other board members went and toured the facilities, met Dr. Hooker, wanted us to see the interaction, and I was overwhelmed with what they're able to do and what they're able to do to communicate with the kids. Mr. Bush is right. A lot of times kids won't talk to other people, but if they have a private setting with a person that they can trust, they will tell them what their needs are. And this is just, to me, it's a minimal amount compared to the impact you all are having. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we do that.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I'd like some
Aye.
discussion, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, in your pamphlet here, you meet 2 times per year for each case managed students. Are these, how are these case coordinators, how are they selected? How are they hired?
That's a great question. I was just up at your rally presenting to the town council. They are screened like Dr. Hooker's school system screened teachers. Their background check. I can't give you, Ms. Dye, a percentage of college graduates, but we have folks that are college graduates, have master's degrees, have worked in Department of Social Services, foster children. Most of our, I would say at least 90%, I'm going to go out on a limb on that one, have some type of children, family engagement type of backgrounds. We do offer, and we've worked hard to get there, but for us to get those type of people, we realized 4 or 5 years ago that we had to get our salary to where it needs to be. So most of these people will come in and they start at what most counties have a beginning teacher salary at. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the screening process, the background checks, the interview process, it's very lengthy and it's very thorough.
And that leads me to that when you divide your 9 schools into the additional 140,000, that's $15,000 a year. So that's what made me think, how are you going to pay someone $15,000 a year with this additional money? Is this going to be a match? Are we going to use this as another leading grant to say it's a match for another program?
That money I mentioned would come through, and I can't say that it would, but that money would come through us being able to have discussions with the opioid treatment money that we're currently using. I'm saying it would leverage us to be able to ask for more money than we're currently for. I say your county's currently getting, I think, roughly $46,500. This will allow us, with your $12,000 gift, to allow us to go back to the table and say, all right, now we're in all 9 of these schools, and that would give us, again, the leverage and the ability to talk with these folks about the possibility of that.
Thank you.
That's a great question.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed?
No, I just need more information. I mean, I have no problem with the program, but I just think there's not enough in here given to us that I'm going to speak for myself, that I can make a decision to say, go forward and give this money. The abatement money was for prevention, treatment, and recovery. And I don't know, we'll ask the question, can you take this money to pay for power bills? Can you take this money to pay water bills? Are you taking this money to buy gas? I just had a whole bunch more questions to ask.
Yeah, basically, what I was saying earlier is that we are using this money to partner with, just like the sheriff's department and those other departments, to provide those engagement activities for the students, to sit down with those students, to provide those DESA lessons that are geared specifically individually for those students. But thank you guys for.
And what percentage goes toward salaries of this money?
Zero.
That money that we're asking, that 6,000 that you're currently getting, and the 12 additional that we're asking for, will go specifically and directly to the Bright Path program,
which is targeting children that are in substance abuse homes,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Yeah.
And this is 2 times per year for each case that you deal with the children, correct?
No, we've already provided over 3,000 substance abuse activities this year for our students. If you can see some other.
All case managed students, frequency, 2 times per year for each case managed students.
Yeah, that's the requirement. That's for their tier 2 and tier 3 activities. that not only include, that does not include what the whole school and family engagement is. So that's in addition to that.
So Tara, is your motion that we are going to give them an additional 140,000 annually for the next 4 years?
My motion was for the $2,000 per school.
Right.
Totally, too.
Yeah, it's what they do. They use the 12,000 to leverage for the regional pot of funding that's available through the drug
So
abatement
another
program.
match.
Right.
You all are currently giving us 6,000.
Right.
And we're
Y'all have
asking-
added the additional
And
schools.
this is for the additional schools.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
because
Yeah,
we're
that's my
currently-
motion.
as-
Yeah.
As Tony said, we're only doing this in 3 schools. And this will allow us to do it all around your schools.
The elementaries are already served. This not, it's in your sheet.
Well,
And your 3 high schools
so
are
this,
served.
what this money is going for is to allow us to do the driver path in your other 6 schools that we're currently not doing that. We're only, that program, the $6,000 that you all are providing us now is only allowing us to do the substance abuse program in your FICs. So,
There's 9 schools listed.
yes, ma'am, but
We're already funding 3 of those, correct?
Yeah, it's funded.
So
The
the
high schools, the 3
yeah,
high
so
schools.
the
And you're going to
others-
Belfast now because there's a big sign
Yeah.
on the door. And these other Belfast, Castlewood, Homeacre, Lebanon Primary, Lebanon Middle.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And do we all in favor again? Aye.
I'm still a no.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think it ended up on Missy Carter. Yes, sorry, Missy. Come on up. No, I had it wrote down here. I'm sorry, but I nibbled it down. Can't read my own writing. Thank you.
Alonzo told me I had to.
Well, thank you, Missy, for coming.
Before I even get started, I just want to piggyback on what Mr. Bush was talking about. He's dealing with the kids, and I've been dealing with their parents for the past 20 years, and I think this is the best thing ever. I think that if we could stop it there, that's going to make a difference. It might put me out of work one day, but I'll be able to retire by then. I think it's great that the kids, when we go into the homes, I see what he's talking about. I see where these kids are sleeping, and I see what their parents are going through, and I just think this is really good what they're doing. And if we can help with that at all, we'd be happy to help with that too. So now I'll talk about me. Today I'm here. I just want to give a little update on what's been going on with our programs. Today, before I left the office, we have 34 people in programs, either recovery court or work program, which is a really good number for us. It's since COVID, this is like one of the high numbers that we've been able to keep for a while. This year, and we still have 1 quarter left, this year we have serviced 66 people this year. 27 females and 39 males. This may not be important to y'all, but it just fascinates me. 22 people in my programs have children at home. And it's just funny that I wrote this down because of what he just stood here and talked about. 22 people, because of these programs that you guys allow, their kids aren't in services. They're at home with their moms and dads who are sober because they're in these programs right now. 33 of the people that I have right now have jobs, or that have been with me since July 1st. They are employed now in the county. 31 of those people have their driver's license. 12 of those people have lived or are living at the recovery houses here in town, either the men's or the women's recovery homes. And 29 of the people that we have serviced this year are either currently in substance abuse treatment through Cumberland Mountain or another agency, or are in mental health treatment, which if they weren't in our programs, they wouldn't be in treatment. We work every day with the sheriff's office. Charlie Saltz is here. He works with me at least 2 or 3 days a week. And he can tell you the people, we have sober people that we're working with. And Charlie's dealt with them for years. They haven't been sober when we've been dealing with them a lot, but they're sober today. And they have their kids at home and they're going to work and they're paying their debt to the community, which I think needs to be recognized. With our recovery court for the first 3 quarters, in jail costs alone, we have saved over $173,000 just this year with the people that we have in recovery court by them not being in jail. With our circuit court cases, which is our biggest population and they're with us the longest amount of time, $262,000, over $262,000. And we have started this year, I don't even know if you guys know this or not, but we started taking in people from district court that or that are going to be going to jail for 90 days or 30 days or sometimes even like 10 days. And those cases alone, $84,000 additional dollars that you don't have to send to that jail because they're out with us, sober, working, doing these things. Also, at a minimum wage rate, the community service hours since July 1st that my crews have worked is a total of almost $506,000 that you would have had to pay to get these places painted, and all the work we've done in the schools this year, or for the sheriff's office or any of the other agencies, y'all would have paid probably more than minimum wage to get that done. So I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted y'all to know that. Another thing, some of the jobs that we've done in the past 2 or 3 months, we have done a lot of work with Honecker Little League, Clinch River Little League, and Lebanon Little League to help get them ready for the seasons. The life-saving crews, Cleveland, we go help Maxie every time she calls. And we help her a lot in the springtime and summertime, keep her yards mowed and stuff too. We love to take care of her. Lebanon Life-Saving Crew, we have done a lot of work with them this year. We've helped with a lot of painting and doing some remodel work that they've been doing at their facility. We help the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Office, the Treasurer's Office, the libraries, both libraries. We've done some painting for Daint Rescue in the past few months. We've helped replace some road signs throughout the county. We help clean at the community centers. We assisted the church with delivering the white Christmas gifts to some of the same families that Mr. Bush was talking about earlier. We've painted the schools, the weight rooms and the field houses at all the high schools. We use Bob Gibson for those things, and when he wants to do something for Castlewood, I always make, because you know how he is about Castlewood, I always make him call Honecker and Lebanon too to make sure we can do something for all 3 schools at once. The vocational school, we've done some painting work up there. We've worked at the school board office, done some painting this year too. What else have we done? You know, we picked up a lot of trash, and I still don't understand how there's so much litter in this county. I just don't get it, but there's a lot. You know, we try to help every single nonprofit or county agency that needs anything done, and we will keep doing that. but we're expanding a little bit. Um, like I don't have enough to do, so I want to do some more stuff. We have started some groups. When we started them with our recovery court, and now I want to take like a day that we're doing work program. I want to have some classes, some life skills classes that we've talked about in here a few times before. We've actually started that, and I think Lonzo put a sheet in your packet. Did you? That kind of says what we're doing in recovery court. And I want to do that for everybody that comes through either program. Some of the things are just like learning how to write a check or address an envelope. The things that some people, they don't teach a lot of that around here anymore. I don't know why, but they don't. But those kind of things that we all need to know. I want all of them to be certified in CPR. I want them to know how to use the Narcan. Cumberland Mountain's been coming with us. They actually came last month and trained everybody in Narcan training. These things that, we take for granted. If we know, I want everybody that comes through our doors to be able to use these services. I have done some training myself so that I can teach a couple classes. One's called Untangling Relationships, and we use that in recovery court. And I want the people in the work program to be able to, it's a really good class. It kind of teaches you about codependency and the things that nobody may have told them before. So we want to be able to teach everybody that. There's a seeking safety class for domestic violence that I was trained in last month. I do an MRT class. Just different things like that, and we want to expand it so that every participant that needs those services can get those services while they're with us. One of the things that I have put together that's in your packet is a request for funding for recovery house fees. Rebecca and Lonzo and myself had discussed this. If we could use some of the OAA money and just pay for the sign up. There's a sign up fee. If somebody's going to one of these houses, that's $100. And then they pay $50 a week to reside there. So my goal is if I get somebody out in either program, that they don't have to worry about where they're going to sleep or how they're going to pay their bill for 4 or 5 months. Let them get on their feet. And this money will help 10 people do that, which is 10 more people that we can put in a program that won't be at the jail because it's $59 a day over there, So that's what one of my requests is. And the other request is for the classroom. I'm building me a little classroom so that we can do these classes, and we want to use the funds to make it have a computer station there and just the things that we would need to do this instead of just sitting in a lobby trying to do a class with people walking in and out. It's just not functional. So those are my requests, and a little bit of the reason why I want to keep doing what we're doing. And that's all I have.
What are you doing in your spare time?
Well, I find something else to do.
Thank you so much.
You're very
for what
welcome.
You're doing. Okay. Okay, we have a request from Missy Carter. We have a motion to support her efforts going forward.
I probably should have said the amounts. The first one for the recovery house fees is $11,000, which would pay for 10 people for 20 weeks.
This comes out of the drug abatement funds.
It does.
Yeah.
It will come out of that. That's my plan. And it will go right to the recovery house to pay for them to not have to worry about that stuff. And the one thing is, if they're not sober, they don't get to stay at the recovery house or in a program for that matter. So they will be sober and working while they're there.
So you actually have 2 requests.
I do.
Okay.
The second request is for $42,566.72, and that will pay for everything needed for a classroom, from a projector to computer stations, to all the supplies. I put anything that I could think of to make it functional. Desk, chairs, everything.
Well, to me, the drug abatement funds, there can be a better resource to keep it in our own county and utilize
Absolutely.
it for our own programs.
Well, the best prevention, in my opinion, is exactly what we've been doing for a long time, and getting in with those kids at the schools. That's the best two preventions that you can have. So I think that's.
Do we need to take these separate, Mr. Attorney?
Yes.
We do? Okay, so the first one,
Well, I'll make a motion for the classroom stuff.
okay. Do we have a motion? What about a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion?
Yes, just a little bit.
Okay.
Clarification. Now, Ms. Carter says she needed 42,000 and change, and our paper says she needs $53,000 and change.
I made her cut it.
It was, I had.
Is that
added
what
in
happened?
I made
For
her cut it.
computer? Yes.
We want to make sure to get you the right amount. So
You
Yeah.
can give me all you want. I'll spend it.
No. There was one
That's what
line.
it was for the connection of the computers and stuff,
Okay.
which
See,
I
that did
found
not
out we have
qualify
to,
under the OA funds, and I had her to remove it.
I have to do that
I
separately.
had to watch those.
Just as long as my
each.
paper matches this motion.
Yes.
Do you have a second on that? All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Okay, the second one. I'll need a motion on the second line item.
11,000.
Where's our opioid money at now? Are we good for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's no problem.
You're very conservative with it, and we have one. Again, I want to say it. Go seal.
I want to make a motion. We fund this.
You never gonna say it, did you?
$42,012.72. Because I know this is kind of thing we had talked about before, trying to give these guys and girls life skills, how to
Absolutely.
balance a checkbook, fill out a job application, whatever.
We did it. She
Yeah.
did it. Now,
Yeah.
this is the 11,000.
Now, this is the one we did.
I'm sorry, I was voting on the 11,000. Well, at any rate, I voted on it. I'm good. I'll make a motion. We approve the 11,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
second.
Okay, we have a second.
Just
Any
one question
discussion?
here.
Go
And
ahead.
this will allow for an additional 10 people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I
I
understand.
think that saves us roughly $17,000 a year per
Andrew.
person.
Per person. I was going to say per
And
person.
you're talking
I've
about
done some rough
you're talking
math out
about
here, and I was wanting to make sure my
$180,000.
math was right on what I was figuring.
You
You're
know
right.
what? It's what you call a win-win.
Yeah.
Andrew, I will speak to some of this and answer some of your questions on this one, because I can talk to this one. They're required to pay like she said, an entry fee. They have to fill out an application. They have to pass a drug screen. They have to, when they come into the recovery house, they have to work. They have to get their driver's license back, and they pay a nominal fee of $50 a week. And they are state certified, accredited at the VAR's house. And so this is to keep 10 people from not having to go to jail and to be in a safe and stable environment. That's what this is all about.
Okay, we have any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all. And thank you, Missy, for everything.
Thank you.
Break.
Okay, now we'll move on down to new business. Approval of the minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the following meeting of the Russell County Board of Supervisors. Unapproved minutes, March 2nd, 2026.
Make a motion. We approve those minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all. Approval of expenditures. Consider approval of expenditures presented for payment. Pay the bills. We'll need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll give you a second. Are we still close to the budget, Mr. Lester?
Close. Very close. 6.4% exactly. 0.64.
Okay.
All right, thank
I
you.
had to throw it. I had to throw it. Treasurer's out there watching me, so I have to be good.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, now we'll move on down to committee appointments for board consideration. And I talked to Ms. Tara earlier, Finney Community Center Committee.
Yes, David Kempton and Edward Tiller, I'd like to put them both back on.
All right, we have a motion for David Compton, Edward Tiller.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the Russell County Tourism Advisory Committee was tabled. We had Michelle Vance resigned.
Yeah, I'd like to propose something. I know we're talking about a tourism director, and considering where our budget's running this year real tight, I don't know how Lou will feel about this, but I would like to see if we can ask Lou to be our liaison with the TAC committee. I know you need something else to do, Lou, but you're the tourism guru.
You don't have any money to pay me, right?
No,
We gave it all to
I'm
Missy.
just checking.
we just give it all to Missy and Tony.
Can we get that on the
We
opioid
try to
abatement?
budget you next year, put you in the budget. I mean,
Okay.
just act as somebody for the TAC committee to communicate with, that
As a
they can
liaison.
talk to on the board.
And I'll act as the fiduciary and administrator, but it'll be more of the liaison.
Are you going to keep us poor?
What do you think?
I think you will. So I'm flattered, but okay, since there's no money involved, I'll take it.
All right, we have a motion to put Lou. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Lou. Now I need my citizens comment period.
Oh, wait,
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hang on. Well, you can bring it on up.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Sky Van Dyke for Michelle's position there.
Sky Van Dyke.
I'll give you a second.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Andrew. Sorry about that. I just. Okay, now we're down to citizens comment period. You'll have 3 minutes. Sorry.
Let's see. Hang on a second.
Hang on just a minute, ma'am. If you will, just bear with me here just a second. She had an application in for the TAC.
That was with. It was. Was it? It was. Yeah. The.
Well, I'll have the county administrator follow up with you on that, ma'am.
Yeah. Was that a reappointment? Was that a reappointment? No. Okay. Let us get to that. Make sure that we've got a full. Because the last time the TAC committee met, there was like 3 people in there. So
What's her name?
4. So we'll get right back on that. We'll fix this.
Okay, moving on to citizens comment period of 3 minutes. Lonzo, if you'll run the clock. We have Sterling. Is that Bradshaw?
Good evening, Sterling Bradshaw, 267 North Church Street. Today I wanted to talk about the financial audit that has been thrown back and forth since tax season of last year when we set the taxes, and it was agreed upon then, as well as been discussed, that we would do a actual full financial audit. So, based on what I've heard throughout the community, is that this is something that's very important to a lot of people. especially those who can't come here or are not able to. When the board voted to raise those taxes, it wasn't easy for us to agree to that, but we did for the sake of having this full financial audit, because it's not just about trusting you all up here as of right now, but also past stuff with changes of the board and changes with everything else. This is to ensure full transparency and accountability, which a lot of you ran on, and responsible stewardship of our taxpayer dollars. Things are never getting cheaper. It never has. So, especially now with things that are going up, this is something that we want to trust you all on, but we also want to verify. That is something that we have talked about extensively in any kind of first responder scenario, or if you're in the military at all. Trust those who you work with, but you need to verify in order to make sure everything's done correctly. This is a trust that we are trying to get you all to continue to commit to, and by delaying it or trying to nitpick which and where we want to do this audit is not honoring that message that you all originally put out, as well as what we as the people expected. I don't believe it's unreasonable to ask the board that you all follow through on what you promised. A full countywide forensic audit would provide complete clarity, and if there is an issue, it gives us a chance to fix it so it doesn't become something worse later, which could cost any one of us or you, anybody associated with those departments, their jobs or jail time or anything else. This is something that strengthens trust between you all and us as the people who we have elected to be up here to make decisions on our behalf on certain matters. So I believe that it confirms and helps and will help quiet the questions of the trust that has been eroded over just the past few years, especially in conflict between the board and the community, in order to follow through on and honor this commitment so that we can have a baseline to work with once again and kind of cleanse the board, as it were, as far as the grievances of what some people, whether perceived or otherwise, may think they're going on in the background. We're simply asking you to do your part. We're willing to, as we said, we were willing to pay the extra tax in order to incorporate this. Thank you.
I'm sorry, did you say your name?
Sterling Bradshaw.
Sterling Bradshaw.
Yep, 267 North Church Street, Lebanon, Virginia.
All right.
Okay, next up is Jerry Hess.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for letting me address the board in just a few minutes. I got about 3 quick things I need to ask you about. And I'm thankful for Mr. Vance and also the board talking about public safety. Sound like he's all for it. Sound like y'all all for it. I live on Route 635 in Swords Creek, Virginia. We have a problem. They put a new quarry in. We have a lot of truck traffic. I apologize for not bringing pictures for everybody. I thought we had a highway engineer VDOT guy come here all the time. I'm sorry about that. And if I'm addressing the wrong people, it starts with the sessions there. Pass around. But I live on 635, and they put a quarry in down in Clarks Valley. And when they bring the gravel with the tandems and tractor and trailers, when 635 intersects 67, if they turn right and go towards Richlands, as you'll see in the picture, and I'm not faulting the truckers, I didn't get no tag numbers, but they go into the left lane, completely across the road to go up the embankment there. When you're coming from Swords Creek, going to Raven area, you turn in there, and I've done it several times. When they're setting that lane, when you turn down, you face to face. Somebody's got to move. They motion you go around because it's hard to back a tandem load of gravel back down the hill. When I come down, I go over in the left lane, go around, you can't see the traffic. So if I hit a car head on, I'm at fault. Now, if you're going towards Richlands, and when you come from Richlands and turn left down 635, if they're sitting over there you have to wait on them. But if you're waiting on them, the tractor and trailers have to go over into the middle of the lane. And I'm getting old. My wife's getting old. It's a dangerous intersection. I'm curious how the quarry, without a road study, got to go in this area. I'm not against people having jobs. I love it. But when they permitted the quarry to go in, somebody in Russell County had to sign the paperwork. If I build a house, I have to get a builder permit. If I put a business in, I have to get a business license. How was the study done to let that go in to the community? And I'm not faulting jobs. I love people working, and so I get my Social Security. But that does create us a problem. And how do I go about finding out if they done a road study on that? Now the roads, actually that road down there, we're a residential community, and I definitely would fight widen the road, but it is a dangerous road.
Just like I told Jerry, Lonzo, if you'll check into that with VDOT and get that information and get with Jerry.
I wrote my phone number on the pictures. You can keep it.
We'll dig into that and see, Jerry, and get you the answers to your questions.
I mean, if I have to go to Richmond to address them, I don't mind. I got family up there. I love to see them.
Right.
North Georgia County Mountain.
Let me give you a little bit of information.
Okay.
Let me give you a look on this road. Virginia Energy permits the quarries, so that's DMMH. You know,
Will you jot that down for me?
Yes, Virginia Energy will do it. Now they don't step in and request a study from VDOT. That's going to be an official study from Virginia Energy to VDOT to evaluate the road. So we'll find out that for you. We'll get the rep from Virginia Energy who permitted it, the query, and you can talk to that representative.
Okay, I'm just curious. The county don't have nothing with a business going in?
No, not with that. That's done at state level through Virginia Energy. Old DMME, the Mines and Minerals.
Isn't that quarry in Tazewell County?
No, it's in Russell.
It's in Russell. It's in Russell. It's a new permit. It's Clarks Valley.
And I repeat, I'm not against the jobs. I just wonder why somebody didn't get the ducks road before they put it in.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jerry. I'll have the county administrator.
All right, I appreciate that. I have a couple more questions. We're talking about Star Ministries at Given School. Has that school been sold?
I'll turn that over to the attorney.
So it's been the property's been transferred over to the Industrial Development Authority. That's ongoing. I don't want to speak on their behalf. I'm of course acting in my county attorney capacity tonight. So don't want to discuss too much on that, break any sort of attorney-client privilege, but it has been transferred to the IDA, so it's out of the county's hands, out of the Board of Supervisors' hands.
Okay. I have a curiosity question about that. I watched the supervisors meeting, I don't know where it's last or before, had a public hearing. Where is public hearings announced? I got the previous week's papers, and we had nobody from STARS represented over here, and I watched the board meeting. And again, I appreciate what you're doing, but I watched the board meeting, and Steve said he heard a rumor that she was looking for another place. The meeting closed on a rumor, is voted, automatically give it to IDA. I'm just curious about that.
That's another thing I'll have the county administrator get with you on.
We'll send you transcripts when it was posted.
He can send the transcript to you.
Okay, I'm really curious about that. Another question, I'll get them all off my mind. I noticed the previous meetings over here, they give it to Star Ministries, they removed it, then they give it back to Star Ministries to have. Was it ever voted on to take it back from Star Ministries and passed by the board? The board passed it to give to Star Ministries, but did the board ever vote, pass it to take it back from them? That's another curiosity question.
Well, that'd be a county attorney question.
Yeah, so that goes along with the transfer to the IDA. So once it went to IDA, the IDA assumed all contracts, any leases that were on that property. So anything beyond that would have happened at an IDA meeting, perhaps an executive session, closed session there.
But before it went to IDA, though, shouldn't the board voted to take it back from Star Ministries?
Not necessarily, no. So when it's transferred to the IDA would assume any contracts or leases on that property. The property would be sold as is with all those contracts in place. That's what took place. So once it got to the IDA, it's up to the IDA what to do with any sort of tenants at that point.
So that really don't have to be voted until star administrators were taken away.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of the
That
question.
means the board doesn't have to vote. It's just automatically a deal. You don't have to tell somebody like star ministries. It's taken away.
So I'm not sure that I necessarily follow your question. It's transferred to the IDA. At that point, the IDA is the landlord.
Yeah. All right. My original question. It was given to star ministers. That was the last count I seen and had. The board voted
I
unanimously.
don't think it was given. There was a contract that said she could use it until the point that we came up with a economic development interested, which one to use it. It's a contract.
I misunderstood them because at the meeting I said I thought that was given to them.
Not given.
Horse ring
No.
was given to whatever.
No, both are contracts.
Okay, I misunderstood that. Okay, question 99. IDA has a right to sell it to any business would like to buy, correct? Not an individual. Is it not put out for bid, I guess? I mean, to get where the county can get the most money they can for a piece of property.
That's another legal question.
So it's discretionary to the IDA. It's their property at that point.
Their property.
They can do as they see fit.
Okay. You answer my questions. Have one more. This is another curiosity question. That's what's going to kill me. At the Swords Creek Community Center, ideal place to vote. I don't remember I said before it was a good place to vote. Shouldn't the board be notified and asked to use that building as a voting place? Formally asked? Should the board have to vote for it to come in?
I don't believe so, no.
You don't?
That is a committee.
Question why have a board?
You're a committee, not a board.
Huh?
Your organization is a committee, not a board.
I believe my letter I got from supervisor said you're appointed to the Swords Creek Community Board.
Yeah, it's not a legal board.
That wasn't a legal letter?
No, you're a
Okay.
committee.
I was just curious. Hey, I thank you for your time and y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, Darrell Glover.
I'm Darrell Glover. I live on the Slate Holler, 559 Glade Hill Drive. And I appreciate you all and what you do and wouldn't put up with all of it for it. But with that being said, like the first gentleman said, the citizens of Russell County was promised to audit. And it was voted on. And it was never followed through with. And I feel like it should be done. For the, like he said, for the transparency. And just to ease everybody's mind. And I don't feel like it'd be right to what we've been hearing, to take funds that was to audit the county and transfer it to the school system to audit them, unless it's done as a whole. And if we're not going to do the audit, the amount that it went up in our taxes to pay for the audit, is it going to stay there, or we're going to take it back to where it would have been had we not done that? And once the board voted on it and approved it, it was my understanding that the chairman of the board and Lonzo to follow through with the board's direction on what was voted on. And that's just, like I say, I appreciate what you do, but I feel like that's owed to us. And thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Next is, I guess it's Rachel Hicks. Did I get that right? Okay. Rachel.
Hello. All right. Okay. So my name is Rachel Hicks. I would give you my address, but I'm still kind of in that stuck place where I just left one of the worst domestic violence situations of my life. I feared for my life almost daily for the past 3 years. There are no resources for us that are trying to leave. And when I say that, I don't mean it lightly. I've been given so many different numbers to call. Have you tried counseling? I was a therapist, and yes, I have. When you're an autistic female and you are brought up in this rural culture, this society that breeds domestic violence because it is swept under the rug, it is swept under the rug continuously. We are tired of trying to call and prove our innocence. Maybe this is just giving light to what April stands for, which is sexual advocate, that month of, sexual abuse, which goes along very hand in hand with domestic violence. Okay. Shelters are band-aids. Okay. I stayed at a shelter. Okay. I signed up for resources a year ago. There have been no federal resources coming in and out for the past year. So anybody trying to get on any type of government housing, assistance, whatever, we're trying to transition away from it, correct? Okay. I don't know how many of you guys remember the old poor farm model. Okay. It was demolished back in the 30s and 50s or so, whenever they started coming out with welfare and HUD. You're shaking your head, All right. Poor Farm Road. Okay. It used to house indigent families. Okay. When a woman lost her husband, she had no resources. We do not have safety nets. I have a master's of education. I have my psychology degree. I have been a very powerful woman. However, domestic abuse and violence has shattered me. And there are no resources. So I have a proposal for anybody willing to listen. Anybody willing to help me write grants. Okay? Because I don't want my daughters growing up in this. Okay? Because this kind of behavior is always shielded. Okay? For the sheriff's department, I'll see Watson, he would have been a good one to ask. Every single domestic revolving call, $1,000 to $2,000 tax money. Would you say? Attorney, I would think that you would know that kind of stuff. I don't know. But anyways, imagine if it's a homicide. How much of taxpayers' money is going into the cleanup process, right? We're cleaning up. We have always thought, we got to clean up after. We think reactively as a community. We need to think proactively. My encouragement is to bring back the old poor farm model. Allow the community workforce program to learn skills building small, tiny homes. The county owns farmland that could be donated for this type of project. That's what it used to be for. The 2026 Homelessness Initiative wants you to have transitional housing. My model has actually allocated and found between the Mary Kay Ash Foundation. People Incorporated just got how much? Yes, let's work together and let's build something so that we can escape too. I am tired of trying to escape. There needs to be something more. If the board has directions or ways that I could be able to talk to some really great people that could say, hey, let's do this. The amount of grants, it would reduce foster care grants, the amount of kids going in foster care, the amount that the sheriff's office would have to. Do you know how much would be saved proactively if you've done something before having to clean it up? I worked as a mental health clinician. I worked in the DOC for 10 years as off and on as a psych associate. Some of the most corrupt that I have seen walked out the doors with badges and ties. This type of violence happens in our backyards daily. We are hemorrhaging money, trying to save after the fact. If you know of any resources, maybe I've just not heard of them. If you're giving me a phone number, I don't want it. I'm asking for solutions. This is a plea of help, a cry, if you will. I don't know if any of you guys would be willing to put in and see my research. The most healing place for me has been nature. I had to escape at my mother's. Do you know how humbling that is for a almost 41, age myself, 1-year-old woman coming back and having to live with her mother yet again because of domestic violence, because I was the silent autistic girl, really weird, quirky in school, but really freaking smart. I have been looked at in so many different careers as a pertinence because, oh man, I'm sorry that I'm moderately attractive. I don't ask for this crap, but I do have a really great brain. And unfortunately, it's us naive ones. We get used and taken for granted from the system. When we stay in shelters, we risk losing our kids. When we risk having a voice, we are told that we are crazy. We're not crazy, we're in survival mode. There needs to be treatment for better, because a lot of your domestic violence survivors are the kids that Tony Bush's programs are helping, that you guys are getting toys for, that Missy Carter is working with a lot of the different women. I'm sure she could probably point out how many domestic violence escapees wanting to leave. There are so many wanting to leave. Where do we have to go? I'm sorry, but a week was enough in a domestic violence shelter that I offered to change the batteries and the smoke detectors there. They were really, really nice. But for an autistic brain, like that chirping, I was climbing on things to try to fix the batteries. That being away from your pets, being away from your comfort things when you're already trying to take a breath because you don't know what safe feels like. And no offense, fellas, y'all have no clue what it means to feel scared. Am I right, women? Ladies? Y'all don't understand the concept because you guys have been the providers. Sorry, I know I'm probably going over, but I feel I need to say this, and I'm not even going by this. Okay, but listen. The amount of grants and funding that I have been able to search could potentially bring in $1.5 million in treatment modalities in the homelessness initiative, being able to work as a transitional housing because HUD federal wants to get rid of it. Fine, get rid of it. Start teaching our people how to live again instead of putting them in apartments and giving them a food card. Let them learn skills. Put them to work so they earn their keep and they get treatment. They can feel safe. And it is a process. They do treatment. They get help. It saves, hopefully, families in the process because, darn, I really wish I would have had something like that would have taught me boundaries of who was safe and who wasn't. But not everybody who smiles at you has the same intent as you. And for a little autistic girl, sorry, I'm playing that way because darn right, I have every right to.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
Thank you. But I have a lot of resources. But I know I'm.
Thank you so much. No,
right.
I didn't want to take up time. Thank you so much. And there is some maybe organizational people out there that handle this, and we'll try to get in touch with you. We got your number, maybe at Cumberland or something like that to get you set up for a meeting. Thank you.
I reached out to the Russell County Sheriff's Office first, and I talked to Corey. I left a message with Watson, a month ago, trying to be able to pitch that idea and talk to him. I talked to somebody else from People Incorporated in Buchanan County. Hey, she got me a bag of dog food. I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
Let us check into this. We'll get in touch.
If I can help.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Constitutional officer reports and requests. We do have a break. You want to take a break?
Yeah.
Let's take about 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. Yeah, sorry. Okay, if everybody will start making their way back in.
Yeah, that's a long day right there.
You know, feel like I've been much.
I bet you feel rough.
Yeah. Pumping on as much caffeine as possible.
What's that?
Pumping on as much caffeine as possible.
Yeah, there you go. Weird feeling.
We're feeling good now.
Yeah, yeah, it's flowing.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I'll defer to the compliment. I'll defer to the county administrator.
Okay, if everybody could come in and be seated, please, and we'll go ahead and proceed. We'll try to get you home for late night supper. So we have now going into constitutional officer reports and requests, and I know I seen Brother Randy and Alicia here. If one of you all want to go first. Okay. Does anybody from the board have any questions for Randy?
I don't have a question, but thank you for coming.
Thank you, Randy.
It's good to have the conversation.
Alicia?
And one other thing, had talked Randy about it, but I noticed that some of the treasures this year have been putting an insert in, or wanting an insert in the tickets. I haven't got a price on that yet to see what that would cost, but to let the citizens know about the elderly and disabled exemption. If that's something you guys would like to see put in our tickets, I could get a actual cost on that.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Alicia, when do those tickets go out?
Well, we're hoping we could get them out by the end of April.
Okay.
The citizens by the end of April, because the due date's May 25th.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Anybody else here? Sheriff? Did Sheriff leave?
25, 26.
He left. I don't want to. Oh, okay. I didn't want to miss anybody. Is anybody else here? I don't want to overlook. Okay, now we'll move on down to the county attorney reports and requests.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the first thing I had on the agenda is the special election that's coming up on April 21st. The board passed a resolution in opposition of that last month, just on the merits that is a principle of gerrymandering. So that vote's still taking place on the 21st. Early voting's open through Saturday, April 18th. So early voting's at the registrar's office. I believe it's 8 to 4:30, if I'm not mistaken. Registrar's office over by the courthouse. It's open Monday through Friday, and then the 2 Saturdays before the election. So I believe we'll be looking at April 11th and April 18th there. Of course, the election itself will be April 21st. Would encourage everybody to go vote. The second thing I have on the agenda is the Swartz Creek School property, letter of intent and public hearing. So my understanding is there's interest in that school. So the ask from the county attorney's office tonight would be for the board to authorize the county administrator and myself to draft up a letter of intent with that proposed or that interested person or entity and set a public hearing for the transfer of that property for the next board meeting, which I believe would be in May.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Thank you, Andrew.
Second.
I got a
And
s-
just for
oh,
simplicity, if we may break those up individually, one for the public hearing and one for drafting of the letter of intent.
I'll make a motion for the public hearing. I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? And I guess the next one would be the letter of intent.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to have the attorney come and county administrator draft up a letter of intent.
Okay, motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all so much.
Okay. And the final thing on the county attorney's portion of the agenda is the forensic audit. So last month, you'll remember, the county administrator and I were authorized to discuss with UHY how much a forensic audit would cost to just do the school board. Or the public school system, rather, I should say. So that has come back. I'll give Mr. Lester a second to get that pulled up. So the option to only do the public schools, and there's an add-on for the PSA and the Dayton Fire Department, seems to be 2 points of contention. But $97,790. That would be opposed to the original bid for, I believe, $218,000, somewhere in that ballpark. So those are the options presented before the board. Of course, the board also has the discretion. Of course, there's been voiced opposition to this idea tonight, but to set that aside. Ultimately, of course, it's up to the board's decision, the board's discretion. Of course, just my role to inform you of your options. A final option that has been researched and looked into is the Office of the Inspector General. So that office investigates allegations of fraud, abuse, and waste by any entity. So that would be an option. My understanding that would not cost the county any money, but it would go in, do a deep dive into any entity or any part of the county that's alleged to have had fraud, waste, or abuse. So that's essentially the options before the board to approve the original audit cost of $217,000 for countywide, for $97,000 some change for the public schools, Dayton Fire, and PSA, to set it aside and do nothing, or to turn it over to the Office of the Inspector General.
I'd like to make a motion that we take a look at doing the UHY audit as a whole, as originally discussed and originally planned, for I think it was what, 217,000? Is that right, Tyler?
I believe that's correct. It's right in that ballpark.
The whole county audit.
Second.
I'd like to make a substitute motion. I'd like to hear more about this inspection. The Office of the Inspector General, is that what it is?
Yes.
And they do it for free?
It's a state-run entity. Of
Yeah.
course, there has to be an official allegation of some sort of abuse, fraud, and waste. That would have to be a on-the-record allegation. That's something that would have to be made. I think it's say been hinted at just by the idea of the forensic audit itself. However, it would have to be a official allegation, and then that state-run entity, the OIG, Office of Inspector General, would then step in and conduct their investigation.
That's wonderful if you have an actual allegation. But to me, the forensic audit was brought up as a transparency thing. So it wasn't so much for accusations or anything. It was just to be transparent. Sorry, my voice is going.
I thought forensic audits were only done for fraud and embezzlement and
Those
those
things.
sort of things, because operational audits are done for that particular reason, to show what's going on within the bookwork of any organization. So, in my opinion, I'm going to say that Mr. Kaiser, I don't agree with that, because a forensic audit is just that. It is claiming, as much as social media is claiming. And I think that there's been some folks say, and Mr. Lester, I'm going to just say it, your name, Tyler's name, David's name, Steve's name, everybody's been claiming that we're all embezzling or doing something. So if the Inspector General can make this happen and take take the folks at their word. And would that include the people that are out here on social media? Do you
Can I
send that
elaborate?
to him?
Can I elaborate, Chair? The board last year last May when we were going through the budget on the 57-9 and we decided to do a forensic audit. Of course, I always argue about money. I mean, anybody that knows me, the school boards, all the constitutions officers are sitting there, they will know it. And I think there's three of the five that's sitting in the audience. So when the forensic audit came up, two of the allegations or accusations at first was, of course, the Russell County PSA, and the other one was the Dane Fire Department. Well, as we kept going, and by the time we had to sit down and take a look at it, the PSA, when we first started into the Dane case, of course, people don't know there was 3 different cases that were set up for the Dane Fire Department. One was a temporary injunction, first was a permanent injunction, then a final court dissolution. So everything had to be evidence to be submitted. The allegations that were submitted in the audit for the Dane, evidence has been submitted and cleared up. It's been final. The PSA, in the meantime, the state police came in and investigated it. There were 3 allegations that were made. The 3 allegations were this. 1, there was millions of dollars missing. And I'm on camera so the state police knows because I had to give a deposition to them. 1, every dollar is accounted for. Number 2, the PSA was taking more than 5%. That is also incorrect. Every dollar is accounted for. There's 4 different sources of documentation, 4 different entities that have confirmed these numbers. And where I'm going with the board, you have 3 choices. 1 is not to do anything and do no audit. Second, you can do a forensic audit, and it's called a search and find because there's no allegations because the Dane fire has been decided by a circuit court judge, which a forensic auditor can't override. The state police has already investigated 3 allegations with the PSA. Now, what does that leave? I'll give you clarity. I've got 3 constitution officers sitting here and the school board, along with the board of supervisors. A forensic audit by the Office of Inspector General is a forensic audit on steroids. They will question everyone sitting here. They will question everyone sitting out there, our staff, their staff, and the PSA. If there's allegations or accusations of any, then this is the time to make it. Plus, there's another caveat in this. The state police on these Facebook posts, these media social posts, we're going to be turning your name in. You get your opportunity. So guess what? You'll get your 15 minutes of fame real quick. Next is this. The evidence is the evidence. And you can't change it no matter what you say. Period. It's done. Proceed with y'all's choice.
And
So
they'll
we
do all
have a
this.
substitute motion, so you need to tell us how to do this, Tyler.
Yes, I don't believe there was a second on that substitute though.
I'll second it for the Inspector General.
My substitute motion is that we authorize the county administrator and the county attorney to contact the Inspector General's office and see how we initiate this free audit of theirs. So, and report back to the board on that.
Okay, we have
I'll
a motion.
second that.
Got a second?
Okay, so the first thing we're voting on is to substitute Mr. Breeding's motion for Mr. Kaiser's motion, put it on the table. So in voting yay, you'd be voting that we would then proceed to Mr. Breeding's motion. If you vote nay, Mr. Kaiser's motion still takes precedent. So
yeah, I want to do a roll call vote.
So if you say nay, we go with Mr. Kaiser's motion.
Yes.
We say yes, we're going with Mr. Breeding's. So
that's correct.
To consider.
Yes, to consider it, not to make that the official vote.
yeah,
Yes.
consider. Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of Mr. Breeding? Roll call. Raise your hand.
Hold on, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
for a roll call, go by name.
Voice.
My name.
Okay,
roll
Nate.
call.
Oh, me? It was no, correct, for my
Yes.
Then no.
Okay, Rebecca?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
No. Yes.
No.
And I say yes.
Okay. So then we'd be proceeding to vote on the merits for Mr. Breeding's motion, which would authorize the county administrator and myself to contact the Office of the Inspector General to initiate their investigation. So we just need a motion on that.
Now say that again.
Yep.
Clarification.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So this motion, this vote would be on Mr. Breeding's motion to authorize the county administrator and myself to contact the Office of the Inspector General to initiate their process.
Thank you.
And would that include the PSA, the public schools, the whole county?
My understanding would be anywhere that there's been an allegation of fraud, waste, or abuse.
And also, those that are making allegations against said entities in this room and outside this room will be held accountable for what they're insinuating. And so they'll have to come up with their reasoning of why they decided that everybody was criminals.
Well, just like when I went through the PSA, I sat with 2 state police investigators, special agents. Any time in the state of Virginia, if you look at this code 18.2-461, you make a false statement in any capacity to any law enforcement officer, and it's a class 6 misdemeanor. 12 months in jail, $2,500 fine.
Class 6 felony. Class 6 felony.
Oh, I'm sorry, class 6 felony. A felony. Okay, there you go. Not a misdemeanor, it's a felony. So now everybody's going to get their chance to make their statements. I advise you to talk to your counsel, your private counsel.
Mr. Chair, if I can say something here.
Go right ahead.
My thought on the audit isn't necessarily that anybody's doing anything wrong. It's how do we save the taxpayers some money? How can we run more efficiently? How can we stave off? There's been a lot of stuff going on in neighboring counties, and I don't want to be sitting here and then us be in that position. I want to be proactive and not reactive in what coulda, shoulda, woulda happened. So I don't know if we need a forensic audit would help with anything like that, or if an operational audit would help like that, or maybe we're sitting here doing the best we could possibly do, and there's no set of eyes that could look at it that could say it could be done any better. But in my past world, in the sawmill business, when you get a new set of eyes looking at something, somebody's going to see something if you get enough eyes on it, and it might help you.
So we, the board, need to
So,
change state auditors. We need to just rebid that. Russell, what is it? Cox and Farmer?
Robinson Farmer Cox.
Thank you. So we just need to RFP that thing and get us a new auditor, according to Andrew. But they're going. It's going to come up with the same.
I mean, I don't know what we need to do at all. I'm in discussion, and I'm trying to figure out how that we can do everything we can do to be fiscally responsible and the best we can be for the taxpayer.
So, Andrew, I think where you're coming from, let me make sure I understand you correct. You want to see where we could make, say, cuts in the county budget, that sort of thing, to save the most money possible. Right. So, yes, I agree with Ms. Wallace there. That's not necessarily a forensic audit. That'd be looking more at something like a feasibility study or a performance study, something like that, to see where, say, the dead weight is in the county budget.
And
well, that may be true, but that has nothing to do with the motion that we're voting on right now.
No. And the second one is, as far as Farmers Robinson Cox, that's the internal auditors that we have that look for fraud, waste, and abuse. They certify us every year. So that's the regular auditor. You have to do that by law. You can't change that no matter what y'all decide.
Yes, but the perception here is that these people are not competent enough to bring forth the information of embezzlement or fraud, and we have to go out here to social media and get our answer. I mean,
Well, they're
I'm
the
like, they
largest.
should be suing us because we're insinuating that they're not doing their job.
Well, the auditor that you have is the largest auditor in the state of Virginia. I think y'all have heard me say that. Second thing, what the contract calls for is the internal auditor also has a bond. They assure you if they can find, if they spot anything, they have to legally report per their license to the Board of Supervisors. If they don't, they will lose their biggest position in the state of Virginia. They're not going to do that for Russell County, number one. Number two, they hold a bond that if I find anything, because we know state police investigators comes in, that Office of Inspector General, my internal auditor is going to be sitting there with me to protect me because that is their job.
Okay, I have a really quick question. So last year when we made the vote, it was to raise the taxes with the forensic audit, correct? Or
Lowered the rate.
We lowered the rate.
well, you know what I'm saying. It was a tax raise, but anyway.
The
But
property value.
anyway, what we voted on was with the condition of the forensic audit. So why do that with that condition if you're just going to turn around and say, well, this is useless and this is ridiculous? You two voted on it too. I don't. It just seems kind of silly to me now.
Well,
I think we're going to get the same result.
We're going to get the same result
for
from the
$0,
Attorney General.
no cost to the county.
No, you're going to get a more intensive audit.
More intensive.
Well, it'll be more intensive.
This
but
is a
that's
forensic
fine.
audit on
I don't
steroids,
care.
guys.
I get what you're saying, but I also know that this has been the past 3 or 4 meetings that we've talked about this, and it was voted on one way, and then we've heard everything from we can't afford it to whatever else excuse. But the original vote, you were like, yeah, absolutely, that's fine. I mean, you were even telling me, Tara, vote. You wanted this. And I voted yes. I mean, I did because I did want the forensic audit. I mean, I'm fine with that. But I don't understand what changed between there and here. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you're going to get the forensic audit on steroids
for free.
Okay, I'll call for the vote, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, let's call for the vote.
Repeat the motion, please.
Go ahead and repeat.
Tyler, repeat.
Oh, yes. So, well, I'll let Mr. Breeding repeat the motion. I don't want to misquote him.
My motion was to allow the county attorney and the county administrator to contact the Office of the Inspector General and inquire as to how we initiate this audit.
Okay. And do we have a second?
We had
Lou
a second, yes.
All right. Roll call vote. Nate?
No.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Tara? God bless your heart.
No.
Okay. Lou?
Yes.
Andrew?
I abstain.
And I'll vote yes. And we'll get this done. All right.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjust the second half tax rate and reduce it by 1.3 cents since we're no longer going to consider doing a forensic audit.
We are doing a forensic audit.
So, if I may, Mr. Chairman, for any audit effect or any motion affecting the tax rate would require a public hearing. So, if we wish to do that, Mr. Kaiser, just respectfully, we'd have to set a public hearing for that next month.
And you need 2 weeks' notice?
Yes.
All right. That'd be from Wednesday of the publication of the paper?
I'm not sure when 11 times. I'll defer to Lonzo on that. I don't know when
I
they
can
publish.
clarify that. To get it in, it has to be in by this Thursday.
Okay.
It will go out. The real start date is Tuesday. That's when it's first distributed. That's correct.
So I'll make a motion to that effect that we have a public hearing.
So let me get, if you don't care, I'll give you a date. So if you waited to now, it would go out on the 7th of April. Okay.
Okay.
The 2 weeks would be the 21st, the earliest that you could do it.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll give you a second.
Okay, we got a second discussion.
I don't understand. We fought hard over this thing. We all went to war with each other. Now here we go again. I don't think that that's a bad idea, but not in this half. So I would not be for that because I just I think that we need to do more. So I want to see what this Inspector General thing turns out to be, because we're saving $217,000. So I think before we have a knee-jerk reaction, I wouldn't be in favor of that.
Well, to me, if we're saving the money for it, then that money rightfully belongs to our citizens. You know, that's why the tax rate was set the way it was.
So you start rebating or anything like that, and it's going to cost you more to do it, because before, when we had that personal property debacle a couple of years ago, I think the treasurer's still sitting here, we were sending out 53 cents rebate or something like that, and it was costing more postage than we were sending a check for to do that. So I think that there needs to be more discussion
We
on
wouldn't
this.
be doing a rebate, it'd be the new tax rate. Reduction in the new tax rate that would go out on the new filings.
Well, I mean, Mr. Brady and Mr. Hensley sits on the budget committee right now, and they're in the midst of working with all the constitutional officers and everything to make sure that we can meet our mandatory requirements. One of the things I heard today is that our insurance is probably going to go up about 20%.
Is that right?
So
20%.
if you jump quick, and are you willing to come back in and raise it back up if we can't meet the mandatory bills?
That'd be on next year's budget.
I'm just telling you.
We voted on this year's budget to do.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So if I may clarify, Mr. Kaiser, your motion is to set a special meeting for April 21st. Okay, good deal. You're good, Mr. Chairman.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A roll call. Nate?
Aye.
Rebecca?
No.
Steve? No.
She's got tickets.
Tara?
I didn't put us in this situation.
Yes, I vote. I want to do the.
Okay,
April 20th.
Lou?
No.
Andrew?
Use my mic. No.
Andrew?
Yeah.
And I'll vote no.
And Mr. Chairman, that would conclude the county attorney's reports.
Okay. County administrator reports and requests.
I don't think mine's going to take us long. Let me get to it. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Chairman. First on the county administrator reports is, of course, the one that we deal with every morning, every month, is the Russell County Road Reporting System. And right now we have two that's on there. One is on the Miller Creek, and one is on Andrew's favorite, Route 71. So I wanted to give an update on 71. It's on the. They were supposed to do some major paving last year. The VDOT wasn't able to do it, and Mr. Hensley can elaborate on it, but they weren't able to make the schedule, so they still have the money in the bank, and they're going to start paving it on this schedule. So next is the county administrative reports is the Russell County the Department of Transportation report. They've got the board action request, the residency request passage of a resolution, which is on farther down the agenda, Route 1207 Tank Hollow Road. That's in Tara's area. They're asking for it to be as early as April the 10th through the completion of the project. We do not plan for the road to be closed 24 hours a day from April the 10th until the end of the project. Closure will be on as needed basis and reopened over the weekends. Residency staff discussed with this Department of Conservation staff. The second request is the residency is not requesting any board action this month, but we do understand we're working, and that's the IDAs now, is the Givens and the Copper Creek schools. They actually have a route number in front of them. They're like a 4-digit route number, so they want us to discontinue those route numbers. That's just part of a housekeeping. Take a look through the maintenance, as you can see what is underway and what's being completed into your projects, what included in the projects. One of the things that VDOT will be doing, and as you've seen in your packet, they will be doing a 6-year public hearing next month. And of course, some of the coal road severance funds that were added to it on the coal improvement on Route 633 and 635, which is Clarks Valley Road and Maple Gap Road, and approximately half a mile paving on Route 611, which is Urbantown Road, and the improvements are approximately half a mile of Route 693, which is Red Bud Road also. So take a look through there. If you have any questions on the other projects, everything is going to, spring is here now, so they're going to start on the roads. Take a look at it, and if you have any questions, let us know, and we will get to do it. Next on the county
Mr.
administrator.
Lister, Mr. Lister, hang on just a second. Go, Andrew.
Before you take off too quick, the actions that was done by the Coal Road Committee about 2 weeks ago, can we
Yes, sir.
get that on the agenda for next time so that
Jeff has it ready with the 6-year plan. That way we can do it
so
all
it's
at one
all
time.
going to be at
At one
6 years.
time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, sir.
good. I just didn't want us to delay any longer than everything already gets delayed there. So.
Mr. Hensley's in the road business now. He's got every route down. That's
Okay.
absolutely correct.
And Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
road things, just to get this a little more public, because I have a newsletter that I send to my constituents anyway, but some don't get it. On the road repair for Straight Hollow, where the and this has nothing to do with VDOT. This is just a public service announcement, basically, where the water line replacement ran all the way up through the holler. I've had several folks say the road patch job is terrible, but I did reach out to the PSA, and those contractors are going to make sure that that road is doubly taken care of. So that's just something for my folks to hear tonight that might be watching. Thank you.
One of the things I'd like for Mr. Hensley and you to do, Lonzo, is since Mr. Hess came and presented on the Clarks Valley with the new industry coming in, VDOT, I know it was stated there that Virginia Energy permitted it. But if we've got issues there with traffic, that's got to be handled with VDOT. Is that correct? Is that not a VDOT road?
That is, yes.
So I'm going to make a recommendation here that you all meet with VDOT on this and see if there's what reports have actually been done, studies that have been completed, and also if there's a possibility of widening the road and putting in some traffic type reporting signs or something like that to protect for the safety side of this for that area, because I know it's barely enough room to get by, let alone with a big truck and another vehicle. So I think VDOT needs to take a hard look at this, and maybe there's some funding that could become available for the safety side of that.
Okay. Mr. Hess, are they tarping those trucks? Okay. I was wondering when you said that gravel was coming off. Because by code,
That's the first I've seen.
Okay, we'll check it out.
Yeah, let us file the request for that.
Yeah. Next on the county administrator reports is the countywide activity projects. The library's been completed. The cannery equipment is up to date. Everybody can now if they want to, or start getting ready to. The community center is done. Of course, the Russell County courthouse record room that got flooded is still in progress. I've turned it in over to the VACO, the insurance. The animal shelter project, we got inspected today. I didn't get it on the agenda. She just left about 3:00. She came in from Richmond, and the facility got hit again. So she gives us 6 months, and she's going to re-inspect. So we gotta move fast on this animal shelter. Yeah. She just gave us a report, and now I'll have it in the board packet next month what the inspection was, and it was only on the facilities. So
Okay, question. So does that mean we're going to get fined?
she's got to see, what was her words, Bill in here, progressive progress. Yes, thank you, Steve. She's going to see equipment in at the other
We've
facility.
been doing this since I got here. When I got here, there was dog and cat signs pasted all over the wall in 2016. So,
well, is 6
I
months? Is that
understand.
like? Are we on track for that? I guess is what I'm
Well,
trying to
that's
ask.
what I was getting ready. I'll give you an update. We've met with Dr. Meister. Now, of course, the project is to give the public information. It's a Russell County Animal Shelter is one half of the building. Anybody's ever been into it, especially the schools is here. The Far right is the animal shelter proposed space. Now that's being ASD Designs, Engineer, Architects is looking at that square footage. They've already got the conceptual, so we'll move on it. Now, the IDA and the board is working with Southwest Community College and LMU to try to get the students in and the techs in done. But I have to, from the county's perspective, for the Board of Supervisors, I got to proceed with that animal shelter. We met last week. We've looked at the issues. We've looked at the equipment that we got to be ordering. We know what we got to do. The last component that we have as far as the county animal shelter side, I've got a permitting that we got to do for the Department of Health because believe it or not, animal urine is high in ammonia. So I got to have a small pre-treatment facility in there and they're speccing it out for us now. But I'm going to be moving with equipment and all that we can do internally and contractually in the process to get this in place in 6 months. She's got to see progress. If we take her down there and all those
So what
cages
you're
are
saying
there,
is we don't necessarily have to have it completed, which that would be great in 6 months. But if she's seeing us make big steps,
yeah, she
then
said, I'll
we're
be back to
okay.
inspect in 6, but you got no later than 12.
Okay.
So
So
there,
within 12, we have to be in,
you
but
that
6 months,
it's
we better
over.
be showing some
It's
big
over.
progress.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Yes.
we are good. We're on track for that.
Yeah, Dr. Meister's very OCD, if anybody knows. So the next thing on the county administrator reports is the board had asked about this. There had been discussions about it on the preliminary PE report that was done by Batista for the IDA for the Castlewood to St. Paul gas line study. If y'all have had an opportunity to take a look at it, this is a gas line that's going, pick up above the Mexican restaurant, and it'll be run into the Tate Corporation that's in St. Paul. But one of the projects and what they're trying to do is pick up the residential and the commercial. As you look and see, they've got the potential of picking up 88 commercials, 5 industrial, and 375 residential. That was impressive. That will almost sustain. Yes, it is. So take a look at that. It's very comprehensive. This is one of the feasibility studies that they needed for the grant money through the state agencies and the federal agencies to put in place because you've got to have that feasibility study and whether it will pay for itself. So you got the Tobacco Commission, you got a lot of partners that are in this. Of course, Senator Pillion and Delegate Israel, they're aware of this. They will have this in hand after tonight. Then they'll go to work and see where they can get the funding at.
You mean we'll go to work and see
Yeah,
where we can get the funding?
well, I was trying to give them a
Or
plug.
the IDA.
Yes.
I'm sorry, don't offend our senators and delegates, but that was my next question is, where does it go from here? Somebody has to take the bull by the horns and run this thing and get grants and see. Where's A&G on this?
A&G?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they're the providers?
That is correct. And if you look in the proposal, this is a cost share program. This is not on the back of all Russell County or us getting all the Russell County funding. It's a cost share program. So one of the things that we've done, our first move in this, or the IDA's move in it, and the counties, as Mr. Eden and Mr. Breeden have talked with Israel. He thought this was a great idea. He has visited Tate. He has campaigned for it. He's took it under his wing, and he's going to be one of our advocates in Richmond for it, for the tobacco and DHCD, Virginia Energy, and VDOT.
So is the IDA, we're just getting this, the IDA had this done, so we're just seeing this, this feasibility study.
That it just completed, yes,
And
ma'am.
then they are going to take this, the IDA. We can only hope that they will pick this up and move it.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Expedited. in my
The
opinion.
Senator Travis Hackworth and Delegate Israel, they dedicated, in the budget, $100,000 they were dedicated to this study to pick up those 465. That was fully paid for by the state in a budget line item by Youngkin. So, of course, Tate is a multi-million-dollar business. It's a sustainability, so it's worth every bit of it for sustainability because they can only run off of propane so long. They need a natural gas line there to be able to run multiple shifts. So they would just keep trucking that propane in. That's all they'd be doing. So this gives them the ability to go 3 shifts 24/7 and pick up those residential, other commercial, and industrial.
And they told me, Miss Wallace, that the possibility of them hire more people if they get this done and get the natural gas in is there for them to be able to do that. So I'm pushing hard, and I know other people's pushing hard to try to get this done. We've talked to multiple companies that have the ability to do the construction on this side, and talked with Virginia Energy to let them know the importance of this for economic development, and not only that, but for the residential community too.
Well, yeah, and there's an industrial site on further on up where the fairgrounds is that could be some expansion down there. Okay, thank you.
And that is in part of the plan. And that's what I was saying. If you look at the cost of the estimates of the projects, it's got, multiple models in it. But the one to pick up the residential that'll pay for itself and all the commercials, by the time you put in what the contractor is cost sharing on and what we get through the other agencies, then, this will self-sustain itself. This is a good project. When do you get an opportunity in any water sewer line to pick up 465 customers? That's unheard of. That is completely unheard of.
I just appreciate everybody's worked on this because I've worked around gas lines my whole working career, and I'm like, why can't anybody in Southwest Virginia hook to a gas line? So maybe there will be an opportunity in Russell County for you to hook to a gas line if you live in those areas. So I appreciate everybody working on it.
Take a look at the study, especially in Mr. Hensley's and Ms. Wallace's area, especially in the Tate area. Take a look at it. But like I said, 465 customers, it's unheard of. So next on the county administrator reports is, again, this is a request and I need a motion for the VDOT resolution for the temporary closure of 1207 Tank Hollow Road that I mentioned in reference before.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Thank you, Ms. Dye.
Second.
Got a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all.
And if you'll take a look up on the map, this is the highlighted area will be the road closure section during that time off of 1207. And again, they'll do it as needed.
Yeah, that is going to be really big for that area.
That will be really
great.
nice. It will. That's one of the things. And the Pinnacle's next. And Ms. Dye and Mr. Hensley is working on another project, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about that next time. Next on the county administrator reports is the Russell County Dixon recovery houses that we had discussed here before that sustain some of our programs through the community work program that goes into the community. We go after state grants, not local grants only, but we go after the state grants to sustain our houses too. So I need a motion but I have to share with Dixon County. It's a 50-50 grant. So we endorsed each other to get funding from the regional. Has been awarded a cooperative partnership in the amount of $216,755 to support the recovery houses in Russell County and Dixon County. Russell County is the fiduciary, so I need an acceptance for $216,755 for the Russell County, Dixon County recovery houses.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it then.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all so much.
Next on is y'all made a motion on the communities and schools with Mr. Bush. That's already been done. That's been discussed. So I can move on. Next is to tag on to what Sheriff Watson had said. This is the MOU that the college, a memorandum of understanding between Southwest Community College and Russell County. This is for the repeater that will go on to take care of the Belfast Fire Department area. I need approval for the installation and the partnership for the repeater that will be on the college to take care of the Belfast Fire Service area.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you all. Any discussion?
Just too fast.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Thank you all.
Now, the last thing on is the biggest talk of the night is the 36th annual Russell County. I don't know if I can go out here if I don't get these passed. Russell County Kids Fishing Day. So for the one for the Russell County and one for the Cleveland and Honeacre Fishing Day, 500 each. I need a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Well,
I'm
I was
sorry.
just going to ask, Ben was here, but I don't know if they are. Are they getting donations from other entities? Do
Yes,
y'all
ma'am.
know?
Yes. Yes.
A lot of entities.
Yeah, a lot. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may have one other point that I omitted accidentally from the county attorney report. So there was, So there was a resolution that was with your all's packet, a paper copy, that I failed to mention. So this deals with the Tazewell County Airport Authority. So Tazewell County Airport Authority, this was brought to my attention by Tazewell County's attorney last week, I believe on maybe Wednesday evening, Thursday, somewhere around that ballpark. So the Airport Authority, there's seats. There's 6 from Tazewell County, 1 from Buchanan County, and 1 from Russell County. He informed me that Russell County has not had a member appointed to that but once since it was created in the 70s. So it's something I was not aware of, that we had a seat that needed to be filled, but this resolution essentially adopts any amendments that they had made to their charter. And I can provide those with you, but a brief summary overall. So the original charter was done in the 1970s. It's been amended twice, well, I guess now 3 times, since, once in the 90s, once in 2016, and then once at their March meeting. They meet on I believe Mr. Gillespie told me, the 3rd Thursday of every month. So the amendments that they made were to consolidate all those amendments into one document. It's about 30 pages. Like I said, I'd be happy to provide that to the board if need be. So we could certainly table this resolution if need be. But the other amendments they made were to include a provision about the Procurement Act to make sure that the Airport Authority was binded to comply with everything to do with the Virginia Procurement Act. The next was to outline what the officer's duties were, and finally to outline how payments were to be made, both de minimis payments under $500 and those larger payments. So all those amendments are now in the same document. Like I said, I'm happy to provide that with you guys. It was just short-term notice, but I do have that now and happy to provide it. But this resolution simply lays out that Russell County agrees with those amendments. That's something that is required by the Airport Authority for all localities represented on it. So Tazewell, Buchanan, and Russell has to have a resolution from their governing body to approve those amendments. So would simply need a motion whether to approve this resolution or to table it to next month if the board would like to review specifically that entire 30-page document on what those amendments were.
Before we go on to make the motion, as chairman of the board, I'd like to appoint Rebecca Dye. She lives there close to the airport, but I'd like to appoint her on this board. For you got to fly.
You got John too.
Fly in, fly out.
You got John.
But before we pass that, I want to appoint her.
Give it to John and Doug.
I'd like to make a motion. We go ahead and approve this resolution and authorize the proper signatures on it.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Well, I'll second it for discussion, and I appreciate you, Mr. Chair, of thinking of Ms. Dye, District 6. But this 30-page document that sounds like it could put us all to sleep, basically, are we going to have to pay to be part of the airport commission or whatever that is?
Not that I'm aware of. Nothing that Russell County's not already on.
We're not obligated to send dollars to support the renovations or the lengthening of the field or the landing thing or whatever else it is.
We can provide that. Tyler can, but it's Lou as everybody. It's a regional thing for them to be able to get more funding because it's a 3-county.
So you need the
Endorsement.
representation to make us a triad for a little regional airport, I guess. Is that correct?
That's it. Yes.
So we're not obligated
Financially.
monetarily wise.
No. And Russell County has already been a member of this authority since the 70s, since it was originally created. Just not.
And
you know,
Ms.
not
Dye,
anyone in that
District
position.
6 is serving for free.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, free.
Do we get a hunting permit out of this?
I wish.
I've seen some big deer up there.
That's right. We find one. I'll send you one. I'll keep one myself.
Okay, I just checked.
Chair.
I'll call the vote.
Okay, we have a motion, second. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Dye.
And for the board's reading pleasure, I'll send you that 30-page document anyways.
But make sure Ms. Dye gets
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Ms. Dye, she's gonna be at it.
Because I need to read and get my ink pen and my highlighter.
Okay, we have board discussion
yeah.
and reminders.
Wait a
Sorry,
minute,
go
I
ahead.
got one more to add to it too.
Oh no, here we go.
There was an RFP that was sitting there, and this is just to put to the street. Don't have to be done for approval, just for advertising. I sent it out to the board members today, along with the CWPs. I also sent out the RFP for the grant administration for the Three Rivers Destination Center. This is a DHCD funded project. They wrote it, so it's got to go through us to be advertised. So I asked for approval for the DHCD Three Rivers Destination Center grant administration services.
Okay, we need a motion to that.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Oh, by the way, sorry.
Go ahead.
On this will go out tomorrow
Yes,
for
ma'am.
how long?
It's by the Virginia Procurement Act and DHCD.
It says April the 10th,
2 weeks.
10th, so that's
2 weeks.
10 days.
Yeah, it's same.
2 weeks.
It's
Okay.
2 weeks. Same
Gotcha.
thing as a public notice.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, board discussion and reminders. Andrew?
Happy Easter, everybody. Remember what it's about. It ain't Easter bunnies and eggs. It's about Jesus dying for all of us. And if you don't know him, get to know him. If you want to know him, there's people here who'll talk to you about him. I'll go buy you a Bible myself. So that's all I've got, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Andrew. Ms. Wallace.
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms.
Appreciate
Dye.
it.
I just want to thank everybody for coming and staying with us through a very long meeting. And I'm like Andrew, Resurrection Sunday's coming up. If you don't know Jesus, please get to know him. If you would like a seat at church, I will save you one. I go to Gracewood. You are more than welcome to come and sit beside me. I would love it. But God bless you all. Praying for you all.
Thank you. Okay, Steve?
I'll pass. I'm good.
Okay.
Just happy Easter.
Yeah. Ms. Dye?
No, I don't think so. Not tonight. Thank you, though.
Nate?
Happy Easter, everyone. I do sit on the Regional Waste Authority and want to remind everyone that April 16th is the County Recycling Day here at the Government Center from 10 to 3 p.m., 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., to be specific, in the parking lot here. So if you have anything to be shredded, any hazardous materials that needs to be processed, and tires. Tires are a big thing. So if you have an old farm like I do and you got all kinds of tires piled up because they used to do silage bins, load them up and bring them out. That saves us from having to pick them up out of rivers and creeks and on the side of the road. So do try to get out here and participate in that. Yes, that is the 16th. I'm not sure what day that is. Thursday. Okay. Thursday the 16th here at the Government Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay. And then I just want to make a point of clarification. Mr. Eaton, you had mentioned last meeting, you'd asked me about the trash going up. I think you said something around 120,000, I think it was. I think the actual number is around 65,000, but I dug into that just for clarification, make sure we know exactly where that money's going and where it's coming from. And part of that is, of course, the contract that we agreed to years and years ago of, to continue that contract, there's rate increases every year of a, certain percentage. It never does. And then the other thing is we're actually, as a county, even though our population's decreasing, we're actually throwing more trash away now than we ever have. Our trash continues to increase even though our population decreases. So those are where those numbers are coming from. And unfortunately, you got to pay for trash. That's the way it is.
Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Thank you for the clarification on that. I appreciate it. And all I want to say is thank everybody for coming out. And just like some of the other ones, find you a church on Easter Sunday and try to attend and know that God has blessed us and blessed this county in many ways. I want to thank Dr. Hooker and her representation for coming tonight and for everything you guys do for our teachers and our school system. A lot of great things taking place, and we appreciate everything you all do, and I want to acknowledge that. But that's all I have. I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All got 2 or 3 in a second.
Second.
You got a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all. Thank everybody for coming.